iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
Saturday, October the 14th, it's the Thomas Wolfe 8K, Asheville's oldest running event. Come and celebrate its 46th year in downtown Asheville. The course starts at the Thomas Wolfe House, takes you through downtown in Montford and past Thomas Wolfe's final resting place in Riverside Cemetery. This race helps support Read to Succeed in Asheville and Buncombe County. For more information and to get signed up, go to thomaswolfe8k.com. That's thomaswolfe8k.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
And a welcome in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Of course, we're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. Jeremy Green, it's a Monday after what was, I mean, it was, I guess we can call this a Victory Monday.
For the one team I still claim, absolutely.
Yeah, about that. So you're done with your New York Jets?
Done. I'm done. I am done. I cannot do this anymore. I was done by 3 o'clock. Legitimately. After Robert Saleh came to the podium, I went, and now I am 100% done.
Your team is absolutely dreadful offensively. And
Awful.
Yesterday, what was it, through 3 quarters, they had 90 yards of offense, something like that?
And they put their fingers in their ears and act like it's not a thing. So, moving on. Don't care. Take your shots. Hey, New England, guess what? You suck too. It just so happens that you played the worst team in the NFL. Also,
I am dumbfounded that it's finally come to this point.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, he kept swearing it yesterday to me, and I was like, I've never heard that. I've never heard him say that. I've heard him cuss the Jets. I have heard him talk about going on hiatus. I've never heard him threaten to drop the team before, and looks like it's happened. So it's a growing point for you.
Well, I mean, and it's not like I'm going to root for anybody else. I'm good. Last night, after many beverages, I took all of the Jets apparel and threw it in the back of the closet. Not saying I won't wear it every once in a while, but I'm done. I'm done wasting my time on an institution that does nothing but promote sadness.
Until Aaron comes back next year.
Yeah, then we can talk.
Okay, so it is.
And you might call me a bandwagon fan. Bro, I've been doing this for 30 years.
Sure.
All right? I got high blood pressure, and I'm good. I don't need you to ruin my weekends anymore.
Yeah, Jeremy is taking what I like to call the Josh Freeman years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep, I'm taking an unaffiliated year. I'm done.
I'm good. I will. That's when I amassed my collection of like LaDainian Tomlinson, Maurice Jones-Drew jerseys, because it was just anybody but my team because it was god awful.
Let me ask you a question. If you were married to a woman, and every single day she would tell you dinner was on the table, and then you come home and it's her and her assistant, how many days in a row would you do that before you went, I'm good. I'm going to find somebody new that doesn't just rip my heart out and piddle on it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I'm good. And you know who else should consider doing that?
Who's that?
Fans of the Denver Broncos.
Oh, what a horrid. Can it be possible that one state has as bad of a weekend as the state of Colorado had? Colorado got smoked by Oregon.
Yeah, and they enjoyed every second of it, too. They didn't just beat you. They relished in beating you worse.
As they should.
The pregame speech from Oregon's coach,
Dan Lanning, hell of a motivator.
Shevskis.
And then, if you happen to be a
wait,
Buffs
in the words
fan,
of Billy Mays, but wait, there's more.
if you happen to be a Buffs fan and a Broncos fan,
that's our first super chat of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from our buddy Curtis Davis. 112-6. The state of Colorado is in mourning. Bolt up. Chargers got to win. That's you staved off Brandon Staley for one more week. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Yep. 70-20.
You know that humble is in the first three adjectives that you would use to describe me.
100%.
No doubt. Humbleman. It's in my Twitter bio.
Uh-huh.
And I really don't like relishing saying I told you so. But, hey, you remember that thing I said about Sean Payton? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You starting to see it my way? Mm. You remember how I told you I knew way more about that than I was letting on? You starting to see it my way? That team is horror awful. I mean, genuinely, can you tell me a thing that you did well yesterday?
I think they all got their shoes on.
100%, and most of them had them tied.
Right.
Awesome.
I don't think we had one helmet missed in the locker room.
Our second super chat of the day from Soaring Eagle, one of our resident Bronco fans.
I'm your huckleberry.
Blow the entire franchise up, get rid of everyone. Everyone's out. That's our only hope for survival. I would usually say that's an overreaction. You gave up 70 points. The last time an NFL team did that, we had never stepped foot on the moon, whether it happened or not.
726 yards of total offense were surrendered by the
They gave up
Broncos.
a Madden score. I was looking at the box score going, I've done that. Uh-huh. I have done that to people in Madden many times.
30 first downs.
I've never seen it happen to an NFL team.
Oh, man. Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert had 4 touchdowns apiece.
Let's go full Sesame Street here. How many touches did Devin Achane have in the first 2 weeks of the season?
6.
2. How many touchdowns did he have yesterday? 4. Ugh.
Uh-huh.
You gave up 8 touchdowns to running backs. Raheem, if you played Raheem Mostert and Devin Achane, first of all, you didn't mean to. That was an accident. Good for you. Count your winnings.
No, to be fair,
awesome.
Flo Stradamus said yesterday during our fantasy show that Raheem Mostert wouldn't be a bad player.
No, I said Raheem Mostert will be fine. I didn't say Devin Achane because I didn't think he mattered. I've never seen an NFL team just go, hey, you remember that play we had in the back of the playbook where Tua just doesn't even look at the receiver and throws a shovel pass? Let's run that twice. 2 times. The last touchdown was the first time in the history of the NFL that a running back ran directly up the middle and there was no one there. There was no D lineman. There was no linebacker. The closest Denver Bronco was the mascot. That is unheard of. Mm-hmm. Sean Payton is Mike McCarthy with a better PR team. And him coming to the podium after that just dog walking and getting an attitude with a reporter is unfathomable to me. Sean, buddy, let me give you a solid piece of advice. When something like that happens, it may never happen to you again. It may happen next week. Frankly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised either way. You just walk in with some humility. Just give them kill them with humility and go, yeah, I deserve everything you fellers are getting ready to say to me. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take it. Don't get an attitude.
He had that sad, like, just
a very dead in the
inside,
eyes.
just, I mean, hollow eyes as he walked to the podium and just went, well, that was an embarrassment.
Yeah, he very much looked dead in the eyes by the time he got to the podium.
Because wouldn't you? Wouldn't anybody? Like, Nathaniel Hackett didn't do this.
Oh,
right?
well, that's the other part.
Nathaniel
saying that Nathaniel Hackett did the worst coaching job in NFL history? Bro, you ought not have said that.
Are you
Because you
sure?
have replaced him in droves. You're the first coach in NFL history to give up 5 rushing touchdowns and 5 passing touchdowns ever. It's never happened before. But you did.
Yep.
But you did it.
I mean, an absolute historic day for the Miami Dolphins. Only 4 teams in NFL history have scored 70 points in a game.
Yeah, and 2 of them were back when newspapers were a thing.
Right.
The last time it happened was 1966. I am a 36-year-old man. My father was 6 the last time that happened. Yikes.
Yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely
I kept
terrible.
watching it just going, it can't get worse. And then it did. And then I said it 4 more times.
Uh-huh.
And then it did.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to say something.
By the way, that's a point differential they'll never crawl back from.
No.
Like they were -3 going into yesterday. Now it's -53.
By the way, if you had the Mike White to Chosen Anderson touchdown yesterday,
Let's go.
that's on the bingo card. Woof. Woof.
But the Broncos at least get the Bears and the Jets next, so that's 2 wins, right?
It's probably 2 losses. I'm not sure you can beat those 2 teams. And frankly, this may be the first 2 games in NFL history where 0 will win a game. Because those 2 may find out a way to lose points. I don't know how you'll do it, but I could easily see Chicago Bears 0, Denver Broncos -4. Never done. Never have we seen a team score 70 either.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Absolutely brutal weekend. But of course, the Denver Broncos are getting killed right now.
Oh, as well they should be.
The Colorado Buffaloes, not so much.
Well, hold up. Before we move on to the Colorado Buffaloes, we have another one of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
Kyle Shanahan. Joe Ellis said no Mike McDaniel. Didn't even interview Josh Allen. No interest. Frankly, any top draft prospect, no interest. Yeah, Denver, there's a reason that I've been so down on you, and a lot of it comes from upstairs, because that's a dysfunctional franchise to the highest degree. And you got exactly what you deserved. And I don't think you've seen the worst of it yet. Because I could see a path you lose to the Bears. Mm-hmm. I see a path you lose to the Jets. They still remember what you said. They're not any good, but neither are you. And then you have the Colorado Buffaloes. That was fun. Mm-hmm. Let's pour one out for that 4 weeks. That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. It came crashing down about as much as you can expect.
Pour one out for the Fighting Deons, because have you happened to look to see what the line is this week against USC?
It better be 28.
It's 22, and I will be Trojan up, because Caleb Williams is looking at that defense going, I'm going to hurt y'all's feelings. Mm-hmm. Real bad.
42-6. It was not even close. And it was just immediate. I mean, from the get-go in that game, you knew how this was going to end up. This was just Oregon just running the ball down the field like a hot knife through butter. I was surprised they came up with any empty possessions during that game. And I think there were 2 or 3.
522 yards of total offense, 282 passing, 240 rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those numbers are more than the total yardage Colorado had combined.
Well, I mean, can we be honest about Colorado for once? Because we came into the season and they spanked TCU and we all went, oh my God! And then they killed Nebraska and we went, oh my God! Then they struggled like hell with Colorado State. You say what you want about Jay Norvell and the rivalry games and all that. You should have handled that. A good team would have handled that. A top 25 team probably would have handled that game pretty easily.
Well, this is also the big problem of being so boisterous and being so loud.
Absolutely.
Because when teams get the opportunity to spank you like a small child, guess what?
Yeah, they're going to.
They're gonna.
Right.
And Oregon enjoyed every second of that.
As they should, because all of the focus going into this game was about Colorado. It was about the Magic. It was about Dion. It was about, as Dan Lanning said in his pregame prep talk to the team, Hollywood don't win games. And we're going to go out here and we're going to show them that we're a top 10 team in this country. And they did. And they proved that Colorado doesn't belong on the field with them.
That they did. That they did. Wasn't good. Hit your button, because we have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
It looks like Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter got this one at exactly the same time, so we'll both give them credit. An MRI today revealed that Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams tore an ACL, done for the year.
Damn.
Yeah, so I feel like we should almost add the Chargers to who had the worst weekend. Because you got a couple games coming that are not going to look real pretty without Mike Williams.
It's not going to go great. You obviously need Quentin Johnson to start catching some balls.
Well, I mean, T's and P's for Mike Williams.
Absolutely. You never want to see a guy get hurt.
Never.
But it has just, it's honestly been the ticking time bomb.
Oh, no.
When's it going to happen?
He has notoriously been a guy that gets hurt a lot. Quentin Johnson will slide right into that spot. The question is, what does that really do? I mean, look, I don't. Did you take anything away from the Chargers yesterday?
No, just the
you got to win.
Just
awesome.
the ability to go on the road and get a win. It wasn't like you beat a great team to do it. It was just now it's the act of doing it. Like, okay, I've seen you do it. Now you need to do it again against a good team.
This is a team that has to be able to shoot out with you because they can't stop you. They allowed Alexander Madison 4.5 yards a carry. Justin Jefferson got anything and everything he wanted. Kirk Cousins did too. So if you can outscore a team, you can beat them. You're never going to stop them. And the Brandon Staley thing, you got a reprieve for a week. Will I be stunned if they go lose to the Raiders next week? No, I won't. Then you get the Cowboys and the Chiefs, and that's not going to be fun for you at all.
Nope.
So you got a reprieve for a week. Brandon Staley's a bad coach.
Yep.
Brandon Staley's a bad coach, and this is sad that you lose Mike Williams, but this is going to be. I have a funny feeling this is going to be a completely lost year for the Chargers. And that's dysfunction to the highest degree as well.
Yep. It's sad that it comes in the midst of, their next big quarterback era. But you got to find the right guy. And it's clear that Brandon Staley's not it.
No, the right guy is not hard to figure out. Here's the beauty. I'm trying to give you a silver lining here. If you carry out Brandon Staley for the rest of the year, you sat J.C. Jackson as an $82.5 million healthy scratch yesterday. So you're not spending your money particularly wisely. There's only one call for the Chargers to make, and it comes the day after the season ends. It's to Jim Harbaugh. I'm not calling anybody else. I'll interview anybody you make me interview. He's going to have to tell me no, and I know definitively he's not going to.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then, next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and a 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's gonna be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
I do love football, and I love Monday Night Football. Well, when my team's on. Because, see, it helps me enjoy Sunday more. And I don't have to worry about things, and I really don't have to worry about tonight because I know how this game's going to go. I know how this is going to end up. I picked the Philadelphia Eagles, so I feel okay.
As well you should have.
Wow, I'm still baffled. I'm still baffled by your New York Jets, Jeremy.
What are you baffled by?
I am baffled that Zach Wilson is this bad, and you're so just fingers in your ears like, nothing's wrong. At least your coach is, and apparently the front office is.
Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. I know this team quite well. Mm-hmm. I've watched every second of this team for many, many years. I'm going to make this as point-blank clear as I can. Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas have 2 options right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can either call the Minnesota Vikings and see what it's going to take to get Kirk Cousins because their season is done like dinner. They know it, and they know they need to be in this quarterback derby next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's A. Or put your house on the market right now because you're LMNO fired the second the season's over. Because if Zach Wilson steps on that field again, you will lose this entire locker room.
Mm-hmm.
In one game, I saw a running back go after a running back's coach. I saw a receiver go after the quarterback. There was no buzz on that sideline. You couldn't even get the paint in the end zone right. You had footsteps in the end zone, you losers.
Yep.
So if you want to just roll over and die, that's fine. I'm to the point, I don't believe in Robert Saleh anyway. All that gusto and the hard knocks and all that was fun while you had Aaron Rodgers. The minute he went away, you're still the same losers that you've been for my entire adult life. So your call. If you want to keep doing this, that's fine. I believe there are a lot of Jet fans that are in the same boat I am.
Yes.
I have less than zero faith in Zach Wilson. And every time you trot him out there, you're hurting yourself worse and worse and worse. I'd rather you play Tim Boyle at this point. That's how bad he was. I've never in my life seen as inept of a quarterback as I saw out of Zach Wilson yesterday. That's worse than he has ever been. You couldn't run because New England did exactly what I told you I was afraid of yesterday, which is they'll put 8 in the box and go, you're not running on us.
Yep.
Zach Wilson can beat us or you can lose. Your call. And Zach Wilson couldn't even take layup throws. It was pitiful. It was pathetic. And if you do it again, don't be shocked when Boo Birds start and calls for your heads follow right behind it.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers be damned. I don't care if he likes Robert Saleh. I don't care if he likes Joe Douglas. You don't want to come back? More power to you. We're going to go 1-16 and be up there for Caleb Williams.
Right.
Because that's the point I'm to. All right. Get the young quarterback. Aaron, I love you, buddy, but you're not here.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about the fact you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
The only quarterback in this league that's even in the ballpark of ineptitude to the level of Zach Wilson is his draft mate, Justin Fields.
Who's not good at football. And it's quite apparent that nobody knows what. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. He can't be coached. I mean, that's what I took away from last week. Right? His comments throughout the week talking about how he wanted to be freer. He wanted to break away from the coaching staff, basically. Like, whoa,
and that's all well and good.
Wait a minute.
Do you know what his QBR yesterday in the pocket was?
7.
1.5.
Ooh, that's bad.
1.5 from the pocket. This kid's not an NFL quarterback, and he never will be. You can tell me coaching. You can tell me anything you want to. There is nothing about Justin Fields that says NFL quarterback to me.
Mm-hmm.
Never has, never will. I thought the schedule was so bad, and they had done so much to make this offense better that they would win in spite of him. You're somehow worse than the worst team in the league, which you were last year.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because he has regressed to an insane level.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was horror awful in the first place. He is now Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf bad. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm going with my next statement.
Okay.
The starter for the Chicago Bears next week should be Tyson Bagent.
Wow.
I know what you have in Fields. That's a lost cause. You still have players on this team.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a completely lost season. Yeah, the Chiefs, you got scattered, smothered, covered, diced, and chunked. And guess what? That was always going to happen. You know who you play this week? Denver Broncos. Nathan Peterman would beat the Broncos. Tyson Bagent would beat the Broncos. Justin Fields won't. That's how bad he is. You had 99 passing yards yesterday.
Right.
In a game that you got absolutely slaughtered in.
It's crazy to think that I didn't expect that big third-year turnaround. Everybody kept talking about, he could take the step like Jalen Hurts did. Well, get him some weapons and we'll see. It's been evident since the beginning of this season anyway. Remember, the preseason looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Preseason looked great. He came into the regular season, started playing against starters, and went, oh yeah, you're awful. This team's terrible.
You're a 58% completion quarterback that throws more interceptions than touchdowns.
What's he won?
You get
5
sacked
games?
a lot.
He's won 5 games as a quarterback?
5-24, I believe, is his starting record.
Ooh.
He is a historic level bust. And I don't regret saying this. I tried to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
The college tape screamed this guy. Screamed it. And you put your fingers in your ears and you traded the first-round picks. I told you would regret trading out of the first pick overall in Bryce Young. And as bad as he's been through 2 weeks, he's exponentially better than Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. Somehow, a guy that started 3 years in the NFL doesn't understand the NFL. Spiking it on third down. Like, how are you this situationally unaware? How do you not get this?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're Chicago, it's time to move on. Next year's the fourth year. You're not kicking in that option.
Yeah.
You're bringing in a rookie because you're going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the league. And what I will say is God have mercy on the soul of Caleb Williams or Drake May or Michael Penix, whatever poor soul winds up with Chicago Bears. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Because for as cursed as the New York Jets are, the Bears at quarterback make that look like a Tonka toy.
But do you have to blow it up again?
Oh, no doubt. You should fire Matt Eberflus right now. That was a terrible hire in the first place. I said that from the get-go.
You did.
You just brought in a defensive coach and brought in the biggest project quarterback I've ever seen in the NFL.
You go Ryan Poles too?
Oh, I'd fire them all.
Just
because you're completely clueless.
Yeah.
Completely clueless. Wow. And you threw basically the Chicago Bears have had a leg cut off and they've thrown duct tape on it because you made the dumbest move in the history of the NFL draft. And you've been trying to make this a thing for 3 years. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go a step further. If the Chicago Bears get the number 1 pick in this draft, and I'm Caleb Williams, I'm going full Eli Manning. You can either trade that pick or I'm going back to USC. Because I'm not doing this. I am not playing for this franchise. You are the biggest group of losers in the NFL, and you have been forever. And I know people don't like that, but you look at how much money he's making at USC, I can come back and it not cost me $1. Not $1.
But do you keep boycotting? Do you keep boycotting all of the teams? I don't want to go to Arizona. I don't want to go to Chicago.
I have no problem going to Arizona.
Really?
None. With the amount of fight I've seen in that team over the last 3 weeks.
Well, that's.
There are 2 teams in this league that if I was a draft eligible prospect, I would fly planes over your stadium. I will not play for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Chicago Bears and the New York Jets. I don't care who you bring in. You've been doing this on repeat for 40 years. It's not the coach. It's the culture. You both have this problem. I think culture is overrated until it gets this bad. At this point, it's a lost cause. I don't care who you put in there. It's not the players. You are a loser culture. And it will take every bit of 10 years to unwind that of you making every right decision. Look what the Detroit Lions did.
Mm-hmm.
Go get yourself a high-level talent evaluator. It's what I thought the Jets did with Joe Douglas. Unfortunately, he tied himself to the wrong coach and tied himself to the wrong quarterback. Go get yourself that high-level talent evaluator. Start hitting the draft. Because you've had 2 draft classes in a row where I went, what in the world are you doing? You give him no help whatsoever, and he's awful in the first place. In 2 years, the only piece you've given him is Velus Jones. When you say that out loud, do you see how stupid that sounds?
Mm-hmm.
That's the Chicago Bears in a nutshell. Tap out. There is no saving this. There's no coach in the NFL that could save this. And anyone that had the talent to do it is not touching it.
They won't do it, though. They'll keep trotting Justin Fields out there. They'll keep making excuses, and they'll keep losing ball games.
I don't think that will last as long as you think. You have another week or 2 like he just had against Kansas City, you can't keep putting him out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're stunting the growth of everybody around him by having a quarterback that is that inept.
Yep. Jets are much closer to the breaking point, I feel like. I mean, when you have Mike Greenberg going on national radio saying Zach Wilson cannot touch the field again for the New York Jets.
I agree with every word he said.
That is bold.
I don't care if it's Carson Wentz. I don't care if it's Matt Ryan. I don't care. I genuinely Do not care.
Whoever you have to make it, whoever you have to bring in, somebody, anybody is better than Zach.
If you put that unabashed loser back on the field, I genuinely think your entire fan base should walk out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad yesterday was. And I'm in the same spot with Justin Fields.
No, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
I've got one of these before we...
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from Soaring Eagle and Divine Comedy. They both asked the same question, but Soaring Eagle super chatted it. Do you think Caleb Williams would even want to play for the Broncos? I'm going to say yes, but it's more Sean Payton. Look, when you brought him in, you gave him all the platitudes in the world. This year's going to make him look like a total buffoon.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't change what he did for many, many, many years. And he can throw George Payton under the bus and say, this roster is awful. We have drafted terribly. You gave me nothing. And he can cover his own arse. And that's what he's going to do. Then he's going to take over full player personnel, and that will be enough for Caleb Williams to go, yep, I'll play for that. I've seen him do great things with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears and the Jets, name me one member of either of those organizations that has ever made a quarterback successful.
Very good point.
And if you fire both the coaches, why in the world would I want to take your job? I mean, the Jets is more attractive because you got a lot of talent. But who exactly are you bringing in here? Eric Bieniemy, who just gave up what was quite possibly the worst offensive performance I've ever seen. 9 sacks, 4 turnovers. That's the guy you think's going to turn this around? Mike Kavka. Not doing much for Daniel Jones. And you just keep going down that list going, who in the world do you think you're going to bring in here that fixes all this?
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, we'll get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unsettled weather pattern after today, as we'll have some rain and showers here and there through midweek. So today's probably the day if you want to get out there, mow the grass, and get it done. With a partly sunny sky and highs near 80, you can do it. Overnight tonight, some fog settles in late 58. And tomorrow, some fog around in the morning and a few showers, thunderstorms scattered throughout the day, 74. Wednesday, still a threat for showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, this is the only time that this is going to be mentioned on this show. Because it's
Does it start with a Tay and end with a Tay?
It's the number one thing that's been pissing me off since yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Travis Kelce scores the touchdown yesterday, putting the Kansas City Chiefs up 41-0.
How many receiving
Chicago
yards?
Bears?
How many receiving yards did he have yesterday?
Say he had 69.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. I took my girlfriend to the game and got 69 yards.
And then I took her to a restaurant after, and we made everybody leave. But we paid their tab, so we're not total jerks.
I mean, as you would, right? If you're that big of stars, I don't want people coming up to me during my dinner.
Oh yeah, well, look, all right. I know what you were doing there. They're you Tay or whatever they're gonna end up calling you. I'm so tired of this already.
100%.
Can we just go fast forward to the breakup and the horrible song she's going to write about him? Touchdown my heart or something awful like that.
It's going to be awful, whatever it is. And who knows, maybe the young kids will just get hitched and they'll be happy forever. It'll be one of those celebrity storybook marriages. I am so tired of this. I hate this whole sports guy and his girlfriend thing. And now you have Travis Kelce hooked up with the biggest star on the planet. She hogged all the camera time. Like, we didn't even... Travis Kelce scores a touchdown. Immediately, got to see what Tay-Tay is doing.
What Tay-Tay thinks. She probably doesn't understand the sport, but let's look and see. I will say she used my line and royalties, okay?
What line?
My let's blank and go. All right, that's mine. Tay-Tay.
That's yours?
You can have your terrible songs. You can with the insanely loud F word in the middle of it. Yeah, that's mine. Copyrighted. You have plenty. You leave me mine.
It's just too much. It's too much. I don't like it. I hate Taylor Swift.
I don't understand why she's so famous. I will never understand that. Your music sucks. Yeah. I could go further, but I'm not going to.
He's going to be mean.
I am going to be mean.
He's going to hurt some feelings.
I am going to be mean.
Just move on.
Yeah,
don't go there.
You know what else is terrible? Marcus Freeman's ability to call plays at the end of games.
Aww.
They lost to Ohio State. They had 10 players on the field twice.
Yep.
2 plays in a row.
Yep.
And his explanation really didn't do much for me. Did you hear what he said about having 10 guys on the field for the last play?
Mm-hmm.
He got apparently a mulligan for the first one. 1 play left, or 4 seconds left in the game?
Yep.
He said, we were trying to get a 4th D lineman on the field, and I told him just stay off because we can't afford a penalty. I didn't have any timeouts. We couldn't afford a penalty there. You know, it's on us. We got to be better. Now, here's my question. Why did you not yell out to one of the 10 players on the field and go, hey, look at that center, and just go, boop, right on his little nose? Half the distance to the goal line. What is that, 6 inches? Whoop-de-doo. It's a lot better shot. You stop them 6 inches closer than you stop them with 10 people. And the only thing I could think about through that entire thing was Lou Holt's reaction sitting in his house. He's watching this. He's already revved up Ryan Day. Calls Marcus Freeman today. You made Lou Holtz look like a moron. You had one job. One job. Just stop them on the 1 yard line. That's all you had to do. I'm out here running my mouth to Ryan Day on Justin Vermin himself. He's ready to fight me like a man. I'm 87 years old, and that's on you.
Lou Holtz's response to Ryan
yes,
Day.
I've pinned a Lou Holtz response to Ryan Day that will be available on our social medias after the show.
Yes, that's coming your way this afternoon.
It has far too many vulgarities in it for me to say it on FCC Radio.
100%. Because when he told me before this segment started that he was going to bring Lou Holtz into the conversation, I went, whoa, you can't say any of those things.
You can say none of those things that you said on the radio.
Tread carefully there, partner.
When Chuck Norris falls asleep at night, he's scared of Coach Lou Holtz.
Is it advised that you try to stop an offense with 10 players on the field? No. But I kind of get what he was saying. I don't want to give him the extra 6 yards. Or 6 inches, whatever.
They're on the 1 yard line.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that drove me crazy about that. How on earth did you not know what that play was? How did you for 1 second think they were going to trust Kyle McCord to throw that ball on the 1 yard line? Frankly, I would have put one guy out there to defend them both. I have 10 D linemen because I know you're running this. Marcus Freeman, nope, have to give him because he is not good. Oh, it made me so angry.
Yeah. Buckeyes beat the Fighting Irish 17-14.
And yet again, check our social medias after the show for the open letter of response from Lou Holtz to Ryan Day.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, the Carolina Panthers. They did exactly what I told you they were going to do. They went out there with Andrew Dalton.
And offensively, they looked markedly better.
The offense looked as good as it's looked all year long. Because, I mean, you put it in the hands of a veteran, he's going to go out there and make plays. Now, do I recommend that they go out there and try to throw it 58 times again? Probably not. Probably not going to go your way if you try to push Andrew Dalton's arm that much. But he had a good stat line. He had great rapport with the veteran receivers.
Yeah, Adam Thielen was a dog. Unfortunately, you couldn't run a greasy peg up a cat's keister. 14 carries, 44 yards.
Woo. It all falls back on the offensive line.
I mean, I don't know what's supposed to be said about Carolina at this point. You're not very good.
No.
You're not very good. You're going to lose a lot of games, especially to teams that have number one receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see DK Metcalf actually covered at any point yesterday?
Not necessarily.
Nah. Hey, guess who you play next week?
Justin Jefferson.
That's the one. That's probably not going to go your way if I were a gambling man.
Then you got Amon-Ra after that. Then you get Tyreek and Jalen Waddle.
Then you get a bye week to go home and lick your wounds because that Miami game is not going to be pretty.
Hey, then you get to go Texans, Colts, Bears. See if we can get one of those.
Well, the Colts don't look like the layup that they were.
No, they do not. They definitely
don't really know what to do with that. We're going to talk about that in the next hour. I am. There are a couple teams in the NFL. You confuse me. I need you to figure out which one of these amalgamations of yourself that you actually are. One of you's a kitty cat and one of you's a crow. Yesterday didn't quite go your way.
No. Panthers fall to 0-3 on the season. And you know what? I'm honestly, I told everybody don't freak out about Andy Dalton. The future is still Bryce Young. We know that.
No doubt.
But should they ride with Andy for a little while? Maybe just a couple of games. Because we always talk about this, how, guys need to sit, guys need to learn, guys need to do this, guys need to do that. Well, now you've done it.
Well, I mean, look, the Bryce Young thing, I still value him to be a really good
Absolutely.
prospect.
I'm not saying you give up. I'm just saying for the next couple of games, let him, I don't know, learn something on the sideline.
Well, here's the problem. Usually I would say no. Andy Dalton gives you a better chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you really have no incentive to lose because you don't have your first-round draft pick next year.
Exactly.
And that is starting to look worse and worse by the day. Because your bye week is after the Dolphins, and there is a great chance that you're going to be 0-6. I think at best you're 1-5 because I don't see a path you're going into Detroit or into Miami and beating either one of them. Do you?
No.
And then you got some winnable games on the backside of the schedule, but there are a good number of losses there too.
I'm saying for those next few games that we talked about, the ones where we know you're just going to get scattered, smothered, and covered. Why not? Bring Bryce, make sure that he's 100% by the bye week. And then after the bye week, you bring him back for those Colts and Texans, and you bring him back for the dog water games, and maybe slide him in easy.
Usually I would say that's completely crazy, but I'm not saying that right here. We have a breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is from the Cincinnati Enquirer. Joe Burrow will play tonight.
Oh, shoot. I took the Rams.
That is not confirmed from Schefter or Rap Sheet or any of those, but the Cincinnati Enquirer has said that he will play tonight. And there are a lot of people saying it's trending that way.
I will trust
The
that.
Enquirer is the only one that is willing to say he is going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, I feel real, real good about what I'm getting ready to tell you. Because tonight is as must win as you will ever see for a team this good. And with Joe Burrow against that defense. Oh, but it was so good the first 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts were great yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean they're great? Nope. No, it doesn't.
So with Joe Burrow back, or what are you saying?
If Joe Burrow plays tonight, they are going to rickroll the Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh. Okay.
Put it this way. It was at 2.5, and there were a good number of people in Vegas that thought it was going to be Jake Browning.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly advise you go to betus.com, use our promo code Sportsocracy to get up to a 125% deposit match, and you can gamble the NFL with us all year long. Mm-hmm. And I would take the Kitty Cats tonight by a lot.
Well, the Cincinnati Bengals need it. They absolutely need it. Falling 0-3 is not good. I mean, that pretty much puts the nail in the coffin of all playoff hopes, especially if you're in the AFC. Although everybody's got losses, right?
Yeah, except Miami.
Everybody's got losses in the AFC except for the Miami Dolphins. We're now 3-0 after that 70-20 beatdown of the Denver Broncos.
Evan Doyle in our YouTube comments asked, what percentage of the smart money's on Rams, or where is the smart money in Rams Cincinnati? I looked at this like maybe last night, and it was about a 60%, 40% split. It's still there, but the tickets have fallen through the floor, which means that the sharps have been putting heavy money on Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. By the way, that's already buoyed up to 3.
Wow.
So 2.5 still the consensus, but I'm telling you, that line's going to go up.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. A Overreaction Monday rolls on. We've still got the Dallas Cowboys to talk about. We'll start the next hour with them.
So is it still an overreaction if we overreact?
What do you mean?
If we don't overreact to something we saw, because there's people just losing their minds about a certain team that I had number 1 in the power rankings, and I believe you've gone a little too quickly.
Ooh, okay. We'll get to that in the next hour. Plus, Jeremy's bangers for Monday Night Football coming up next.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Attention! It's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different. What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number? 1-800-662-HELP. What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Monday Night Football. We got a doubleheader tonight. Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Los Angeles Rams at the potentially Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Eagles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Start with the first game. Eagles at the Bucs. Eagles 5.5-point favorite. Over under 44.5. I don't see a possibility that Tampa Bay can score on Philadelphia, because that defense is really good. They make you very one-dimensional, and you're going to see James Bradbury and Darius Slay a lot on Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. That's enough for me to go under the 44.5. Philadelphia Eagles minus the 5.5. I think this one's too easy, and that always makes me nervous because Vegas does know what they're doing. They have gold fixtures for a reason, but this seems pretty cut and dry. Eagles under. Rams at the Bengals. Bengals are a 2.5-point favorite. Over under 43.5. I actually like the over more if Joe Burrow doesn't play. Not because the Bengals offense will be better, but because they may lean more on Joe Mixon. I still don't really believe in that Rams front. I'm going over the 43.5. As for who wins, Cincinnati has to win this game. You start 0-3, there's almost no chance in the AFC that you're making the playoffs without some superhero last 14 games of the season. So Burrow or not, I'm taking the Bengals minus 2.5. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unsettled weather pattern after today, as we'll have some rain and showers here and there through midweek. So today's probably the day if you want to get out there, mow the grass, and get it done. With a partly sunny sky and highs near 80, you can do it. Overnight tonight, Some fog settles in late 58. And tomorrow, some fog around in the morning and a few showers, thunderstorms scattered throughout the day, 74. Wednesday, still a threat for showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Hey, this is Mike Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. You heard that right. The Fantasy Footballers have officially entered the Dynasty space. Every week, we bring you the same in-depth analysis and entertainment you've come to expect from the Fantasy Footballers, only now it's from the Dynasty perspective. Join me and the rest of the crew every Wednesday for a new episode. Listen to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, and we are the Sportsocracy. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 in the ESPN Asheville. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube here in the Ingalls studio. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chats.
You can also vote in our poll of who had the worst weekend. Right now, 51% of you, the state of Colorado.
No doubt.
14% Justin Fields, 11% Zach Wilson, 25% other. And somebody said me. Here's my response to whoever said me. I went to Clemson, South Carolina. And they didn't lead for 1 second in regulation. But you know what I did get to see? And I want to tell this story because it was really funny. I didn't know Clemson didn't have a kicker, and that Dabo's kids convinced him to bring this kid back. Somebody sitting behind me told me that. And you know what I learned about Clemson fans, at least in the stadium? Some of you don't seem to really understand football to the highest degree. Because, you see, there's an official underneath the upright that goes, ah, or, oh. None of them got that. So the field goal goes up, stadium goes, woo! And then it got death quiet just in time for Jeremy to very loudly and possibly audibly, because there was a camera directly in front of me, to go, he missed it! I cannot explain to you the level of general merriment I had. I'd already looked at Amy and said, what time will we be leaving this particular facility? Because I don't want to be here at the end when all these orange people get in my face. Because there's this thing with my personality that I do not like it when people get into my face. And then overtime happened. And I've never in my life heard a full stadium that was quieter.
Mm-hmm. Just goes dead silent.
I also need to specify that if a player goes down while you have the ball, that's not really doing anything to you because we control when we snap it. Florida State had a guy that he got his bell rung. I think they looked at him for a concussion. Mm-hmm. He was shaking his head, and the medical staff told him to go down because if you walk off, they won't reset the play clock. Well, there was already like 16 seconds on the play clock. He's the center. So he went down, and all these Clemson fans, they're faking an injury. We control when the ball snaps, stupid. Like, that works when you have the ball.
Right.
But then, okay, he might be faking it.
Right.
You don't have the ball. It means nothing to you now.
Heretofore, the idea being
yeah.
that on defense, we can slow you down when you have the ball.
Yeah, because that's the only way we can keep you from snapping it if you don't substitute.
Right, right.
I had to explain that very loudly to about, 500 people that were directly around me, and they looked at me like I had 6 heads.
That's all right. They're wearing the wrong orange. If they were Tennessee fans, they'd have known that.
Oh, they'd have been throwing mustard, too. So
yeah, that's very true.
Don't throw mustard. That's crimes.
No, sir. Tomorrow is a Power Rankings Tuesday here in the Sportsocracy, but today is an Overreaction Monday, and we saw the number 1 team in the Power Rankings last week go down on the road to the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
What in the hell happened to the Dallas Cowboys? 28-16, they lose to the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And your explanation, sir, because you said we're going too far on dethroning Dallas.
You ever have a bad day? Happened to Dallas. Can I explain it? No, I don't really have a good explanation for what that was. You went for it on 4th and 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
4th and goal from the 2, which you didn't convert. That was probably not a great call.
Mm-hmm.
There were some very questionable decisions by Mike McCarthy. But we told you the Cowboys are overrated. They beat 2 New York teams and they're both bad. No. They didn't beat 2 New York teams. They beat 2 New York teams to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had some busted coverages because you lost Trayvon Diggs later in the week. I still would be. Are they going to be 1 tomorrow? No.
No, good no.
Are they going to fall out of the top 5?
No.
RELAX. It's a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving you any way out of that. You were an 11-point favorite and lost on the road. That's also an Arizona Cardinals team that, how many times do you have to be really annoying before we go, maybe they're not as bad as we think they are?
Yep.
That's a really young team that you're going to get their best shot every week because half the guys on this team, they don't know if they're going to be in the league a year from now.
Mm-hmm. They're playing with their hair on fire. They're doing that Houston Texans thing.
And Jonathan Gannon is coaching. The job he has done in Arizona with a roster that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
There's no team in the history of the NFL that has more players where I go, who? Could you run that by me one more time? Because I don't think I've ever heard that name before that I've ever seen.
I know you had a proud moment yesterday when they actually did that thing you've been asking them to do for years now, which is manufacture touches for Rondale Moore.
Yes.
So where he got a jet sweep into the end zone. You know, there are players on this team, but I mean, I still feel like losing to them is kind of an inexcusable thing. And I get it. You have bad games and you burn the tape and blah, blah, blah. Okay.
We have these every single year. The reason that this is the end of the world and the world is on fire is because it's the Dallas Cowboys.
See, but this was the game. I was a week early. This was the game I was expecting against the New York Jets last week.
A lay-down game against somebody that you have no reason to lose to.
You should walk in and you should just beat their brains out and things go wrong. Dak doesn't look good. You have the empty possessions. You had how many penalties? There was like 180 yards in penalties for the Dallas Cowboys.
It was a lot.
It was just grossness all over the field. Dak throws a pick in the end zone. You had the fourth down.
It was
that you couldn't
107,
convert.
by the way. 13 penalties, 107 yards. I thought that sounded high.
Yeah, it was just a lot. There
were a lot of penalties, and a lot of them were at really god-awful times. This is one of those games that I use this phrase a lot, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. The Arizona Cardinals are not going to beat themselves. All right? This is a young team. This is a really scrappy team of a bunch of guys with chips on their shoulder. All right? We've all seen that guy. I would argue the Los Angeles Rams have an element of this as well. The problem is that once you do this a few times, people stop overlooking you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like Dallas walked into Arizona and went, we're going to win because we put our shoes on the right way, on the right feet, and our pants are zipped up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how it went. You caught a game from a team that brings their lunch pail, you didn't.
Is this buying your own press clippings? Is this...
Might have been for a week.
We're on the high horse here, and we don't have to even worry about this.
All right, so this would be my call to anybody that thinks that this is the victory lap, and, oh, look how bad the Dallas Cowboys are. All right, put your money where your mouth is. I will take all comers straight up next week, Dallas Cowboys in Dallas against New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
All of you. Because I just watched this Patriots team. I just watched every second of this Cowboy game, too. They are going to hurt New England's feelings next week. Josh Dobbs did all of the things that you would ask a mediocre quarterback to do. Take what they give you and press nothing. It was exactly what Zach Wilson couldn't do. It was exactly what Daniel Jones couldn't do. And it's exactly what Mac Jones will not do next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not overly worried about this. Is it a good look? Good Lord, no.
The number of big
But we
plays.
overreact to everything the Dallas Cowboys do.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a lot of you brought it on yourself, right?
You're Dallas.
You're right. Dallas Cowboys fans are the loudest, most obnoxious people on the planet.
And Notorious B.I.G. in the YouTube comment said, Trayvon Diggs being out's a problem. We can pretend it's not, but it is. It absolutely is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that. We put out videos last week of that. That makes me not like them as much.
Yeah. They've got to be on the hunt for another option. If they want to remain a contender, they're going to be a contender because they're going to win a lot of games because they're better than most of the teams in the NFL. You want to win those big games, you're going to have to come up with another option.
Well, and just look at how many times over the course of this year we've had teams that almost lost to a mediocre team.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas just so happened they carried it all the way out.
Yep.
I do have reservations about Dak Prescott. I always have, and he was not good.
Mm-mm.
He was not good. And yesterday, if I said there was something that did make me nervous, I did see something out of Mike McCarthy that's always made me real nervous.
What's that?
They ran the ball down Arizona's throat.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you stop? Why'd you stop? Oh, but we're behind. Mm-hmm. That's what bad coaches do. You get behind, and they were aggressively behind. It was 21-10 at halftime?
Mm-hmm.
And then you throw it, then you give it to Dak Prescott and let him try to chuck it all over the yard. That's dumb.
Yep.
That is a dumb thing you did. And I do have a reservation about McCarthy, but I've always had that reservation.
Mm-hmm. And the stats have always pretty much played it out. That when Dak has to throw a lot, this team does not perform well. It's the thing that, killed this offense under Kellen Moore. The Kellen wanted to throw too much.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted Dak to throw 45, 50 times a game, and he's just not best when he's doing that. Dak, after the game last night, said that he has to do more with his legs. Obviously, that is when you have a dual-threat quarterback, like Dak Prescott is, he's not the run, tuck it and run it first guy, but still, he can hurt you with his legs as much as a Joe Burrow can.
Well, the thing that would bother me is the just unbelievable lack of creativity. And now, I might be a little biased because I had just gotten done watching the most creative offense that I've possibly ever seen. And I watched the Dallas Cowboys, and I kept thinking, every bit of this looks like 1996.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any honey hole here where you go, watch this. All right, it's going poorly. Here's this play that we've worked on. We know it works. They didn't seem to have that.
No, because it's not who Mike McCarthy is.
And that's unsettling.
At the end of his tenure in Green Bay, what did we all scream about him? He's got to go because he's too conservative. The playbook is bland. He's not fooling anybody. The game has passed him by. It's a passing league now, and he's a guy that wants to line up and play Big Ten football in the NFL. It's not going to work.
And now that part would scare me to a point. That part would scare me to a point.
He is who we thought he was. as a play caller. He's always been that.
But in terms of them losing, yeah, I don't love that you let them run, because they did run a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still looking at Dallas. Once you figure out the Trayvon Diggs thing, because it was a problem yesterday, that blown coverage on Michael Wilson where there is nobody in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't on Stephon Gilmore. It's on an outside corner that's on that field because Trayvon Diggs wasn't out there.
Yep. It's going to be a big problem. I didn't expect it to be that big of a problem. But
I didn't either.
Everything snowballed into one. You're going in without Trayvon, and apparently you sleptwalk through the meetings this week, did not prepare for Arizona, and Jonathan Gannon had his team ready to come out there and run it down your throat.
And I'll go ahead and this will not be the only time that a good team is beaten by the Arizona Cardinals this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those teams that you better have your P's and Q's in line, because if you allow them to, they will beat you.
Yep. The important thing for the Arizona Cardinals, though?
Just lose, baby.
Exactly.
And it'd be really nice if the Houston Texans would do the same.
At least for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Yep, tomorrow is a Power Rankings Tuesday. And yes, there has to be a change at the top. Spoil the surprise for you. Miami's going to 1. Dallas is going to 2 or 3. Depending on what happens tonight in Monday Night Football.
I haven't finished the rankings yet. I can tell you there are a few teams that drop like rocks. One of them is a green team whose logo is right over my head. They
have nothing left.
They might have a 3 next to their name this week, and it ain't the second number.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick-and-mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then, next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial #250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and a 36-month phone financing agreement. You have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
It is ESPN Asheville. We're back in the Ingles studio on an Overreaction Monday. The New Orleans Saints lose Derek Carr. Derek Carr went down yesterday. They say it's an AC sprain that he's dealing with. He's having the MRI. I haven't seen the report on the MRI. They say it's not expected to be a serious injury, but he still could miss a few weeks. How big of a deal is this in the race for the NFC South, though?
I mean, I don't think it's a huge deal. Let's say he misses the next. They have a long week after Jacksonville. So let's just, in theory, say that he misses the next 4 weeks. You play the Buccaneers next week in New Orleans. I believe you can win that game with Jameis Winston. You get Kamara back. Mm-hmm. You get him out in space. You kind of take care of Jameis Winston. You're playing in the Dome. You can play at New England. That's a game I would like you in with Derek Carr. I don't like you with Jameis Winston because Bill toys with bad quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the Texans in Houston, probably lose to the Jaguars. You're 2-2 through that stretch. That would put you at 4-3 with a long layoff and then games against the Colts, Bears, and Vikings in a row. So I will say it is not a big deal. It might lead to you not being as fun to watch because Jameis Winston didn't do anything that made me feel warm and fuzzy. My bigger fear would be, why did you give up 18 points in the fourth quarter? You're supposed to be able to hang your hat on that defense. It didn't look like you could.
No, but don't they typically find a way to do that? Doesn't New Orleans usually find a way to make things interesting at the end?
They do, and I the Derek Carr thing, to me, there's not a lot there. New Orleans, to me, is still the favorite to win this division. I'm not sure it's all that close. Carolina is an afterthought. I think you're going to see that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are fool's gold after tonight. The Falcons, they can't throw. So, I mean, I feel like the Detroit Lions just put out a PSA of this is how you beat the Atlanta Falcons. Stack the box. Desmond Ridder cannot beat you. And so I just don't think there's anybody that's even close to as good as they are.
Right.
Now, here's the second thing I want to talk about. Can we stop with these analytics?
What do you mean?
Okay. So Green Bay scores yesterday. They're down 17-6.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go for 2. And this may have been after the field goal. It may have been 17-9. I'm looking for the actual scoring summary. Yeah, they kicked the field goal first. So they're down 17-9. I understand that it worked. It's really stupid to go for 2 right there. Like, really stupid. And if it had blown up in your face, we would have seen just how stupid it was.
Okay.
The reason that I wanted to bring this up was Brandon Staley going for it on his own 24-yard line. I understand what your analytics sheets say. At some point, you have to use, what's that thing? Common sense. maybe I shouldn't go for it on my own 24-yard line because that's dumb. If it works, oh, you're genius. Look, they won the game because they went for 2. Well, what happened if it didn't work?
I bet it did. But it did.
And it would have been really dumb if it didn't. Just like it was really dumb when it didn't work out for Brandon Staley.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, we failed and gave them the ball on the 24-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid.
Yep. You take that risk sometimes, though. Bill Belichick's done it. Dan Campbell's done it. I mean, coaches do this all the time. I'm going to take my shots, see if I can catch you off guard. And they did, and it worked. Would I do it? Probably not, but I'm not much of a gambler. But I understand. I want it to be a 6-point game.
And Alex,
it's going to be because now all I need is the extra point. Why not go ahead and do it? And then I'll go for 2 if I have to.
Because you don't have to. They lost their quarterback. They look like a shell of the team they started out as. And there's a great possibility that you just made it to where you have to score now 3 times because you go for it twice and fail twice.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
In the YouTube chats, Alex Majabi said they had an 89% win rate, talking about the Chargers. If they had gotten that yard, and it's only 82 if they punted. Mm-hmm. I know what the analytics say. I also am going to go back to that thing. Common sense. Giving another team the ball on the 24-yard line never makes sense.
Right.
It's always stupid. 100 times out of 100, it is stupid. And I'm seeing this more and more. And I get going with your gut, and the Chargers defense was not particularly good, and you had Justin Herbert, who was getting pretty much anything he wanted. I get all of that. At some point, you have to look at the clock and go, why would I make this easier on them? Oh, if it works, but what if it doesn't? Mm-hmm. To me, that is the equivalent of I'm not allowed to drive a car. So I'm going to get behind the wheel of a car, and I'm going to drive it, and if it works, I'm going to be fine. If I get pulled over, I'm going to be in jail. Oh, okay. Risk reward here tells me that the risk is not worth the reward. Call an Uber. That's what punting would be. And maybe play some defense because you have a defensive coach. That's what he's supposed to do.
That's what he's supposed to do.
And he is not good at it.
Doesn't always work out.
He is not good at it. Man, those Minnesota Vikings. Woof. You think Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins ever just look around and go, what are we doing? What are we doing here? We don't belong here. This defense is horrid.
Too bad you're stuck.
Kirk's not stuck. Kirk's not stuck at all.
Oh, well, Kirk can get out.
Hey, I want to go play for the New York Jets because they have Justin Jefferson light and actual running backs.
He won't do that, though.
I'm not as sure of that as you are.
Really?
I'm not sure he's going to be given that choice.
Well, I mean, if
he's got a no-trade clause, so he can refuse to go. Mm-hmm. I just don't know why you would do that.
He would not. I believe he's smarter than that. I mean, I get this is your home now, and you've made a home in Minnesota and all of that, but that time frame is shortly dwindling.
Well, I mean, and your schedule's just god-awful.
And this team's not good.
And if Kirk Cousins is not in the future plans. Factor fixing Kirk Cousins is not in the future plans of the Minnesota Vikings.
No.
Because this team's going to be awful. All right, you play the Panthers this week. That's on the road, and it's not a given that you're going to win it. Then you look at games with the Chiefs, the 49ers, at the Packers, at the Falcons, the Saints, who at that point probably have Derek Carr back, at the Raiders, which is not that scary, but it could be scary for a team that can't stop the run. Mm-hmm. I understand they did yesterday. Yeah, I got on Joshua Kelly. Sorry, I thought the worst run defense I'd ever seen. Whoever's running the ball should be good, but apparently it doesn't work for the Chargers.
No.
At the Bengals, and then 2 with the Lions, and another one with the Packers. This team could be 4-13. I mean, I'm not saying they will. They probably, if everything stays the same, they probably finish 6-11-ish.
If they trade Kirk Cousins, they will.
If they trade Kirk Cousins, you're going to be in the top 3, and you're going to have the shot to take that quarterback. Mm-hmm. Why would I not do that? Because if you make that call to the Jets right now, I'm not sure they wouldn't give you a first-round pick for it. Conditional.
Right.
We don't make the playoffs, it becomes a 2 3s or a 2 next year or something like that.
Right.
Why would I not do that?
Well, we get to keep the first round pick anyway from the Aaron Rodgers deal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is he's not in the future plans of the Jets, and a 1 is probably too high. But maybe you put a stip on that. If we make it to the Super Bowl, it becomes a 1. If we don't, it's a 2 next year and a 3 the year after, something like that.
But does that
is Minnesota saying no?
But does that fix your problem
for the Jets?
Yeah.
It's how do I say?
It's a hell of a start. Yeah.
It's light years better than yesterday was.
Well, I mean, at quarterback, yes. I'm just curious about that, the offensive line and protecting him and all of those things. I don't
let me state this as clearly as I can. The offensive line is not why they lost yesterday. They did exactly what I've been screaming for, which is Becton plays on the left side, Elijah Vera Tucker goes to the right, and you take that guard that you just drafted, and I don't know, play him. Well, the problem yesterday was the cherub that I think was legally drunk, because that's about the only explanation I've got.
He's absolutely awful. He's not an NFL quarterback, and he'll probably be the MVP of the XFL in a year.
I don't even know if he could be the MVP of the XFL.
I mean, he could be. You never know. I think Jordan Ta'amu was, so.
I'd take Jordan Ta'amu right now over Zach Wilson. You want me to tell you exactly how out on Zach Wilson I am right now?
Yeah.
I'd take Baker Mayfield over Zach Wilson.
Damn right you would.
And wouldn't think a second thing about it.
Damn right you would.
I mean, the result would still be the same, but.
Come on.
At least it wouldn't be Cherub Boy.
Hey. He hasn't been completely terrible against bad teams.
I was about to say.
Let's see what happens tonight on Monday Night Football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles locking it up 7-15 tonight.
I want you to keep that energy you just had. I want you to keep that till about 12:02 tomorrow.
We all know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what this is. We all know what we're in store for tonight.
Joshua Penix in our YouTube chat said, Zach Wilson is truly so bad that it's impressive. I agree with you. I've never seen somebody get sacked by themselves. That was a first. I've also never seen somebody throw a screen pass to the devil, because he did that too. There was a lot of ground in the way. Hey, there's nobody over there. No.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Coming up next, we got to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
What was that?
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unsettled weather pattern after today, as we'll have some rain and showers here and there through midweek. So today's probably the day if you want to get out there, mow the grass, and get it done. With a partly sunny sky and highs near 80, you can do it. Overnight tonight, some fog settles in late 58. And tomorrow, some fog around in the morning and a few showers, thunderstorms scattered throughout the day, 74. Wednesday, still a threat for showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Time to get weird. And Jeremy, when you're, we always say don't do crimes, and running from the cops is a crime.
Yes.
But if you're choosing a vehicle for which to run from the cops,
airplane bound for Mexico.
That's a good one.
Or somewhere with a non-extradition treaty.
Indeed. You would think car, like, just a race car, something like that, sports car, something. No, maybe.
It's really hard to outrun a radio.
Yeah, one thing that I would not choose when running from the cops is a golf cart.
Oh, golf cart.
Golf cart with security put on the side of it.
Yeah, that's also it has the same problem as the goat. It's not very fast.
This story comes to us from
Florida.
Nope, L.A.
Another crime capital of the world.
Yes, indeed. It happened in L.A., where a man with robbery and grand theft auto charges against him. He had warrants out. And apparently they caught up to him, and he decided, you know what, it's time to go for a ride. He got in the golf cart, and he took his dog with him. He's shirtless, has no shoes on, wearing what looks like khaki shorts, just cruising in his little golf cart, to which police let him go 10 miles. That seems like a long way to let a little teeny golf cart go that far, weaving in and out of traffic, putting motorists at risk. I do not understand how anyone could be a law enforcement official in the state of California. I don't. With all of the things about, not stopping shoplifters, and now, apparently we can't do anything to stop a golf cart from putting people in danger. Unbelievable.
Now, you also have this thing that's making it easier to do crimes, which I will tell you in the next hour. Tank, what is your favorite television show of all time?
Ooh, favorite.
You had to choose one show that was just the best show ever written.
Cheers.
I didn't watch a lot of that one. That was a little before my time.
Mm-hmm.
For me, we would have Seinfeld. It's very high up there.
Okay.
Friends is very high up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one that may very well be my one.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Belvedere.
The Office.
Oh.
The Office. It's just a fantastic show, and guess what? It's coming back.
No.
They are rebooting The Office. Showrunner Greg Daniels is rebooting the show. There is no report as to who is coming back. I'm going to wager it's probably a lot of them.
Many of them not doing anything.
Stanley's not doing much but recording music videos. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should Google it because it is hilarious. Don't know if it was meant to be hilarious, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
Got a whole lot of characters there that are just hanging out. Might not be able to get Steve Carell back.
I'd be fine with it.
might not be able to get John Krasinski back. But Steve Carell was really important.
He's got to be there.
Well, I mean,
You got to have Jim.
I mean, he's got kind of a thing going on.
What's he doing?
Was it Jack Ryan?
Is that a running thing? I thought that was just a movie.
No, it's a show.
Oh.
It's on Amazon, and it's very popular. I have never seen it, but it's apparently very popular. Do you care if they bring, let's say they bring half of them back, and you get Creed because he's not doing anything? I'm trying to think of all the ones that I have physically not laid eyes on since. Kevin, he's doing a lot of podcasts. He's a funny man.
Yep.
I'm good with that. The writing of that show was absolutely brilliant.
The Hispanic guy that worked in marketing or whatever.
Oh, what was his name?
I can't remember. Carlos?
No.
Was that his name? What was his name?
I'm going to have to look that up because it's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah, yeah. And then the big guy.
That's Kevin.
The big bald guy. Yeah, I feel like you need to you need to have some semblance of the crew there. But you got to have that guy to tie it all together. Like, it can't be Ed Helms. Because that's where the show
Really?
turned for
Oscar,
me.
by the way, is his name.
Oscar. That's right. That's right. The show really turned for me there. Like when Steve Carell walked away and they made Andy the boss.
It was
it got
fine.
exponentially stupider.
Well, it was always pretty stupid.
Of course it was.
But it was funny stupid.
Yeah, it lost some of the funny when Steve Carell went out. I don't know who that guy can be. I don't know who you can bring in. But surely you can find somebody to make that all work.
Oh, Alex Majawi said Jack Ryan ended, so time for The Office. Yeah,
Well,
bring
there
back
you
John
go.
Krasinski. You know what? Bring back John Krasinski. Make him the
now.
boss.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight, he's not doing anything other than, telling people they should be scared of the government, which, not saying he's wrong. Rainn Wilson, that's an interesting dude. Real interesting dude. But I'm excited. Bring it back. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Television, can I be really, and this is as nice about this as I can be. There hasn't been a good show written for television in many moons. I couldn't tell you a show on television right now. I know many of them have political opinions that they want to, that dog pill thing we talked about. Hey, this is what we think, and you should too. I'm out. Yeah, I'll pass. Good on that. But I believe what I believe, and you believe what you believe, and you just shut up about it.
I thought they should always. I thought they should do a warehouse show. The Office.
Yeah.
We do the warehouse guys. Focus on their lives, and then the other guys can be just bit parts.
Yeah, that has a spinoff like Joey.
Yeah,
you remember when they did the Friends spinoff for Joey and 8 people watched it? It kind of has the same vibe to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Hubert Queen said the writers are on strike. Yes, but all right, eventually you run out of money.
Oh, yeah, and that's...
At some point, we're going to have right now, we have a failure to communicate.
And that's ended today. They came to a deal last night. The writers are back, but the actors are still on strike. At least that was the latest update that we had last night. So...
Yes, there is a tentative deal.
It's going to be ending soon. So we'll get there. Start churning out new content.
Yeah, and maybe it could just not be awful. Awful political nonsense. Is that too much
I mean,
to
that's
ask?
either you get just awful political nonsense, or you get just retread. This was a 1980s show. Let's make it a movie.
That's fine. Retread it. As long as you take. I really wish they had put that into the writer's strike contract. We don't care what you think. Be funny or shut up. Is anybody disagreeing with what I'm saying right now? No matter what side of the ledger you're on, I could frankly care less. Just be funny, or action or drama or
Stop
whatever,
preaching.
and stop preaching. Just please, God, stop. So I'm really running out of Netflix shows to watch. Lincoln Lawyer was good though.
Was it? Okay.
You should watch that.
I
It's very good.
dare ask.
Lincoln Lawyer?
Was it like the movie?
Oh, it's the same premise, but it's got Nev Campbell in it.
Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey, there's
I
a movie
actually
Jeremy
watched
seen.
the movie after I watched the first season of the show because I didn't know that there was a movie.
Ah.
And I watched it, and the movie was good. The show's better.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Not only did you lose to the Houston Texans.
You got smoked.
You got handled by the Houston Texans. How did this happen? How did this come about? How did we allow this to happen? And is C.J. Stroud good? I mean, this is back-to-back weeks now where he's put up pretty good numbers.
I mean, you're going to have to give me good in a vacuum. I mean, yeah, it really helps when you have Tank Dell, who is a dog. I hope all of you that watched our fantasy show listened to me on that one, because that was free monies. Yeah, I mean, C.J. Stroud's fine. He's a league average quarterback. All right, right now he's got 906 yards, 4 touchdowns, 50.4 QBR. But then there's that one stat that's really important.
Okay.
No interceptions. None. I mean, he's been markedly better than I thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think the Texans are particularly good? No. I do have some fears about the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it all starts with old Blondie Locks. Joshua Brooks sent me something on Twitter about 3 big drops from receivers and where his QBR would be with that.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get that. The receivers have not been great, in spite of how good I value them to be. Calvin Ridley is a really good receiver. Evan Ingram has had a career resurgence with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Christian Kirk is still a dude. There's just something clunky watching them, and I can't really put my finger on what it is. Do you see it?
I mean, it obviously, when I see it, it doesn't look good, but I don't have that analytical brain to tell you what's not working and it's just.
If they had not been playing the Indianapolis Colts in week 1, they would be 0-3 right now, because they weren't good against Indy.
Mm-mm.
Calvin Ridley was good.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm looking at the schedule. I mean, and look, the Jacksonville Jaguars were the easy layup. I'm not so sure they're the easy layup anymore. I thought they were going to be the 1 seed in the AFC because the schedule's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I look at the schedule a little differently. 3 weeks into the season, next week you play Atlanta. That's in London,
In
correct?
London, yes. That's the Disney game. That's the Toy Story game.
Stop telling me that. I don't care. I'm a 36-year-old man. I'm not a child. I don't need a cartoon version of a stupid football game. Just give me the football game. Then you play the Buffalo Bills the next week. So you got 2 weeks in London.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that unheard of to think this team could be 1-4?
Mm-hmm. No.
Because the Buffalo team I saw yesterday will beat them brainless. Then you come back with no layoff, having to play a Jacksonville team on the road. Or no, that's at home. Excuse me. And then you go 2 on the road at the Saints and at the Steelers. Whatever is wrong with this team, you better figure it out really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because this season can go off the rails in a hurry.
And when they come back from London, they play the Indianapolis Colts, not the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I'm just clearing it up in case
I never said I was a smart one.
In case anybody was confused. It's definitely a warning sign. I didn't expect you to go out and beat the Chiefs last week. I knew that was going to look clunky.
No, but I expected you to look better. The offense is clunky, and the defense is just straight up bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they kept Kansas City 17 points. Okay, Kansas City kept themselves to a lot of points as well. Because they had some drops again. I'm not impressed with Jacksonville. And this was a team I was super high on.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask a question. Team that lost a really hard-to-fathom game. Dallas Cowboys, who we've already talked about. Jacksonville Jaguars. Baltimore Ravens, who lost to the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you the most worried about?
Baltimore.
Why?
Because of the injuries. You cannot keep doing this. They were without 7 starters yesterday.
And I told you, when we picked that game, I'm going to regret not taking Houston and Indianapolis.
Yep.
And weird, I was right. Because I'm stupid. I don't listen to myself.
I'm legit worried about Baltimore because you just cannot catch the break. You're missing all of these important pieces. The defense struggling with injuries. The offensive line has injuries. Obviously, the J.K. Dobbins injury has already happened. Then you had Gus Edwards have a concussion yesterday, and you had to go to Melvin Gordon to run the ball.
Oof.
It's just concerning. And I don't know how you fix it, and I don't know how you get out from under it. If they could just snap their fingers, they'd have done it 3 years ago, after the second year in a row that they had been decimated by injuries, but it just keeps happening to that team. It's like there's a curse or something on the Baltimore franchise. That, yeah, you can look good on paper. Yeah, you can have all these all-pros, but they're going to miss a whole lot of games, and you're going to struggle like hell to keep them healthy through a 17-game season.
So you're most worried about the Ravens of those three?
Yes, I am. Because Jacksonville can rebound, right? Jacksonville could figure some things out, and they can rebound from this.
I don't know that – and see, this is where I'm struggling to agree with you. I think Dallas had a blip game, and you're very quickly going to see that defense come back. They'll figure out the Trayvon Diggs thing. I mean, even if you have to go get somebody, it's not as hard to find a corner as it is, say, a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, it's injuries. They get healthy, and I think they're the same team all over again. And most of these guys are not it's not, hey, you're done for the year.
Right.
Jacksonville's the one I'm most worried about because you're healthy and still not good. I'm not real sure how that works. This team should have absolutely blown out Houston yesterday. C.J. Stroud picked them apart. And it's not, hey, we're going to get healthy and then it's going to be fine. You're built the way you were supposed to be, and you're still losing. And I get that it was Kansas City. But what if you come out of these two London games losing both of them, and you could?
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's just straight up better than you, and the Falcons have that is an offense that will travel pretty well. Oh, we're jet lagged. Cool, let's run it 47 times because that's what they're going to do. And I'm not sure you can stop it.
Yeah, I don't think – I just don't feel like Atlanta can hang with them. I don't feel like Atlanta can keep them from being their best.
3 games, how many times have you been legit impressed by the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Mm-hmm.
It's 0.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, I thought they were the best team in the league before yesterday, and I still think they're in the top 4. And Baltimore, you just need to get healthy. For me, I'm terrified about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and a lot of it falls on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Because you're good, but you're not great. Joshua Brooks, the O-line and the D-line are horrible. That's my point. Because there is no fix to fix both of those. There's not, hey, we're missing blank, and when he gets healthy, we're great again. I have reservations about Jacksonville that I didn't expect to.
All right.
We got 2 of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
One of them that steers exactly what we were talking about. Our buddy Armchair Commentary, our resident Canadan, and our friend on the fantasy show, which if you watched yesterday, we probably made you a considerable amount of money because I think all 3 of us cashed in practically everything we did. Even Tank finished up high in the battle for the belt. Didn't get his free pass into the playoffs. I did. He didn't. Said Doug Peterson doing Doug Peterson things, which is get good and then get fired. I can't say he's wrong. And Rugby Dude with
I'm your huckleberry.
Imagine if Miami goes undefeated again. Compare the tape of the 72 team with yesterday's performance. How the sport has evolved. It looks a lot different, but that Miami team is the best team in the NFL, and I'm not sure it's even close.
Yeah, they are hell on wheels. No doubt
I do not know how you stop it.
I don't either.
And in the next hour, I have a comparison with the Miami Dolphins, and once you hear it, I don't think you're ever going to be able to unsee it.
Really?
I thought about this the entire game against the Denver Broncos yesterday. Well, I mean, until my jet beers caught up and I couldn't really think about anything but left foot, right foot, don't fall down. Because by about 4:45, that was really all that was careening through my old cranium. But I noticed something with Miami, and it's really good for their fan base.
Okay. All right. Who are you worried about after this first couple of weeks of the season? Get those into the chat. We'll talk about that coming up in the next hour. We also got the daily draft on the way where we'll do stock up, stock down from the weekend.
I also have a spicy hot take about college football that a lot of you are going to tell me I'm out of my mind. I'm not. I'm not. I told it to Tank, and he went, "You're crazy." Yeah, I'm not. But I'm not.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Plus, we've got the Monday Night Football previews coming your way over the next hour of the program. When we come back from the break, it'll be time for a 5 on it. Jeremy's got his parlay of the night with the 2 Monday night matchups.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
One of Western North Carolina's favorite half marathons is back. The Geyser Growl Half Marathon, presented by Hillman Beer, October the 21st, starting at 8 a.m. This fun and scenic race during the peak of leaf season takes you from Lake Tomahawk and Black Mountain down to Old Fort and passing the iconic Andrews Geyser. The race finishes at Hillman Beer with hot soup and cold beer. If you're looking for a fun half marathon, you don't want to miss this. For more information and to get signed up, go to gloryhoundevents.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces, and trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then, next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slower. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Favorite parlay for Monday Night Football. I already gave you the Eagles and the under in that game with the Buccaneers. I already gave you the Bengals and the over in their game with the Rams. Take those in same-game parlays. Add Jalen Hurts as an anytime touchdown scorer between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Because let's face it, if they get to the 1-yard line, you know exactly where the ball's going. That makes that game plus 625. Add Joe Mixon, first touchdown scorer for the Cincinnati Bengals. That makes that plus 1,400. You combine those. You put 5 on it the same way that I am. $543.75 on a $5 wager. You can take that to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit match and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager the NFL and college football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unsettled weather pattern after today, as we'll have some rain and showers here and there through midweek. So today's probably the day if you want to get out there, mow the grass, and get it done. With a partly sunny sky and highs near 80, you can do it. Overnight tonight, some fog settles in late 58. And tomorrow, some fog around in the morning and a few showers, thunderstorms scattered throughout the day, 74. Wednesday, still a threat for showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stachik.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
One of Western North Carolina's favorite half marathons is back. The Geyser Growl Half Marathon, presented by Hillman Beer, October the 21st, starting at 8 a.m. This fun and scenic race during the peak of leaf season takes you from Lake Tomahawk and Black Mountain down to Old Fort and passing the iconic Andrews Geyser. The race finishes at Hillman Beer with hot soup and cold beer. If you're looking for a fun half marathon, you don't want to miss this. For more information and to get signed up, go to gloryhoundevents.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you can't measure it on your bathroom scale. Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own. You won't find a bipolar disorder by looking at a thermometer. Like many other health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is an Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere around the world on the iHeart Radio app. See, like if you, you got something to do in the afternoon, you got some place to be, got a doctor's appointment or something, you can sit in the doctor's office and you just listen to us on the radio, like the boss man's doing right now. T's and P's. Hope everything works out with boss man's wife's medical appointments today. But yeah, he's listening. So be on your best P's and Q's and T's and R's.
T's and R's.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, just mind them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What? Come on, Smarty.
I mean, do I make a habit of saying things that are going to get me fired?
No.
You've done way more of that in the last 6 weeks than I have.
You whip out Lou Holtz one more time, and he's going to give me another infarction.
Listen here, Ryan Day. You beat me in a black alley somewhere.
The uncensored Lou Holtz response to Ryan Day coming to the
real
social
funny.
medias
after
the program.
Funny.
It's going to be hilarious. Stock up, stock down for the weekend. It's always the daily draft here on a Monday in the Sportsocracy. Jeremy, you were at the best game of the weekend.
Yes, I was. And it ended quite nicely. Didn't get to hear that. They didn't bring the band, which made me very sad.
Oh, did they not give them seats? No. Did they do that Alabama thing where they didn't want to give them seats?
Oh, shoot. Clemson. It's so sad. You're 2-2 for the second time in 3 years. Weird. Somebody told you it was coming, but I don't know who that could possibly be because Cade Klubnik is bad at football.
Clemson now 0-2 in ACC play.
Yeah, you need a whole lot of losses, and you better hope Duke has one of them this week to Notre Dame.
All right, so since you had it, or you were at it, I guess we'll let you have the win for Friday's daily draft.
Which means I get the most obvious one, and I'm going to lump this all into one blue and orange pony. The Denver Broncos. Woof. I don't think there's ever been a more stock down to the public. I mean, to me, this is exactly what I told you was coming. I didn't think you would give up an NFL modern-day record for points. That's as bad as I have ever seen an NFL team look. I mean, look, I'm a 30-year Jets fan. I've had some real sad days. Yesterday was one of them. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, Jets plus 7 wasn't that bad.
Where I just go, they're going to score every single time they touch the ball. And there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing.
350 yards rushing for the Miami Dolphins.
That's 726 yards.
Insanity. And what's his name? Devin A-Chain doesn't want to be called A-Chain anymore. He says
it is Devon A-Chan.
A-Chan.
Which is weird because I specifically remember a voice pronunciation from Texas A&M that it was a chain. But, okay, we'll call you whatever you want to be called.
That's what it is. Hey. If
you know what we called you yesterday? Real good.
That's right. If Darius Leonard wants to be Shaq Leonard, then we can call this guy A-Chan rather than A-Chain. Although A-Chain sounds much better.
If you're a Denver Broncos fan, you have to be looking at this going, how bad can it get in 1 year? Because the one thing you thought you had was a defense. You didn't have a defense.
No.
Oh, Patrick Surtain on Tyreek Hill. Didn't matter.
No.
Didn't matter who you put on anybody. They just absolutely annihilated you, and that is now 2 weeks in a row. Now you play the Bears and the Jets. If you lose one of those two games, I would not want to have a little pony on any of my apparel. Because it will – I don't even know what you do.
There's nothing you can do but wait. The only thing you can do is wait for the offseason and blow it up, right? Because you've handed the keys of this franchise to Sean Payton and said, here, this is your baby now, right?
And I think the most insane part of it, it's not even Russell Wilson. He's fine. I mean, I'm not going to say he's been great, but he's been fine 2 weeks in a row. You still lost. You can't run the ball to save your life. You have no weapons. Cortland Sutton apparently does not remember how to hold on to a football. It's all bad. From the top down, it is horror-awful.
Yep.
My number one pick, the Denver Broncos.
Stock down for the Denver Broncos. Good for you. You know what? I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars on this one. There were other candidates here, obviously, but you just can't do that, right? As a team that we all believed was going to be a division winner this year, they very well still could be.
Well, because you're in a division that's not very good.
I still believe in Trevor Lawrence, and I can't get behind any of the teams in your division. Losing to the Houston Texans, obviously not a way to start your campaign here, but there's still plenty of time for them to turn it around. They have all the talent in the world to, and I've been talking about this team I don't know if they're there yet. Are they ready to take the step forward? Is the defense so young that it needs more time to develop? Well, yesterday it's pretty much proof positive that that's true. This team can just forget to show up for games. That's on the coaching, right? That's on the coaching to get that sorted out. But I still believe in Doug Peterson. Somebody made the comment earlier, you get good and then you get fired if you're Doug Peterson.
That was armchair.
Yeah, it happened in Philadelphia, went to the Super Bowl, and then it didn't look good after that, and then they had the blow up in the locker room and all of that. I still think he's a good coach.
Jacksonville's at a precipice.
And I don't think
you know it as well as I do.
I don't think you've seen the best this team can be.
I don't think you have either. I'm not sure you can get the best out of them. Yes, Trevor Lawrence took a step from the Urban Meyer year to last year with Doug Peterson.
Yep.
He's still not what he was billed to be. He wasn't what he was billed to be yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he got outdueled by a rookie that we had a ton of questions about. And this team is at one of those crossroads where if this doesn't go correctly, it can get really sideways really fast.
Mm-hmm.
You lose these 2 London games, and your fan base is going to mutiny. And I fear you're going to lose to Buffalo no matter what.
Yeah.
With the issues you have with that offensive line after what I saw out of the Buffalo Bills yesterday,
My next stock down for the weekend. I want to take the obvious from college football, but I'm not going to. I'm going with Notre Dame. Because there's just something about that end. Look, this is a good team, right? They're going to win a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to prove. The one thing Notre Dame hasn't been able to prove since before I was born, basically, is that they can win the big ones, right? They can come up clutch when it matters. And it's just a horrible, horrible look when Marcus Freeman has his defense out there and there's 10 guys on the field for the last 2 plays of the game.
I agree with you. The ending was bad. I didn't even have Notre Dame on my list.
Really?
You have a shot to undo every bit of this in 6 days. 5 days now. Because you play at Duke. College game day is going to be there.
Okay.
If you had that on your bingo card that college game day would be at Notre Dame Duke this week, you're a bit of a witch.
Yeah, but that's not the same. You bounce back and you beat Duke. Nobody's going to say, oh, they're a contender now.
No, but then you play USC 2 weeks later.
Good luck.
You got plenty. Ooh, we are going to see that way different.
Really?
Yeah. We'll talk about that when it's closer to it.
Okay.
But, I mean, for me, I'm looking at Notre Dame going, you still got Duke, USC, Clemson in Clemson. You went out, guess what? You're still in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
That schedule, the back end of that schedule is that good. And Ohio State, I don't buy Ohio State. I never have, and I probably never will. I think Ryan Day is Ryan Day is probably the most overrated coach I've ever seen.
So
and his
that make
reaction
this worse?
Because that's not how people view him. That's how I view him.
Mm-hmm.
Nationally, Ohio State's still looked at as, they're one of the 5 best teams in the country. No, they're not. No, they're not. I give you 10 teams off the top of my head that I think would boat race Ohio State.
Okay.
One of them we're going to talk about later in this hour. And it isn't a name that you're thinking I'm going to say.
So Notre Dame's not a contender anymore.
I didn't say that.
Well, now that they've lost to Ohio State.
We lost to Ohio State. He's probably going to catch 1 or 2 losses at most. Woo. And you lost to him on the last second.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I'm actually looking at it going, you should have won this game, and you didn't get your doors blown off by somebody as talented as Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have him on the list.
Wow. Okay. You went into this week being a contender. Now I don't think you are one.
You went out. You're still in the playoff. Factor fishing.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You went out. You will have a win on the road against probably the second team in the ACC title game. You will have a win on the road at Louisville against number 8 USC and at Clemson. Yeah, you're still going to the playoff if you go 11-1.
Okay.
But you don't have any more room for error.
Mm-hmm.
You lose another game and you're doomed.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't take the obvious one, so I'm going to take it.
Go for it.
It's a massive stock down to everything Colorado Buffalo. I don't care that you got beat. That doesn't – I think we all thought you were going to get beat because that's a tall ass to go into Oregon. It's a whole nother level that you got embarrassed. You couldn't put up points. You didn't score until really late in this game. Shedeur Sanders, you remember when we were talking about him winning the Heisman? That went away fast. You remember when Mel Kiper said he's the 3rd best quarterback in this class? That went away fast. And just think of all the opportunities that you missed by getting blown out. Now the USC game, completely irrelevant. All right, that game's this week. Game day going there? No. It's a noon kickoff on the West Coast. It's a noon kickoff here. It's a 9 a.m. kickoff on the West Coast. USC's a 21.5-point favorite, and I'd bet my house on USC.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk with that swagger, just understand, you're going to get everybody's best shot. And when they get the chance to embarrass you, they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And Dion came out and said, you better get it while you can because this is the worst we're going to be. I don't dispute any of that.
No, he's a hell of a recruiter.
But you were talking like a Titan, and then you came out and limped into this game and got annihilated by a second-year coach at Oregon that the vast majority of college football fans have never even heard of. It was a bad look. It was a bad, bad look. Speaking of bad looks, I'm starting with 3 stock downs because you gave me, in my opinion, 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Washington Commanders, and I'm really wrapping them all together. You know, we said that defense had looked pretty good. It didn't yesterday. Sam Howell looked pretty good. He didn't yesterday. You got sacked 9 times. Turned it over 4 times. And at no point did you look like you even belonged on that field. And now, I still think that's a talented team. I still think Sam Howell's the quarterback of the future. I'm not taking that one day as that's the end-all, be-all. But you got absolutely out-coached, outgunned. It was an embarrassing performance at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like everybody in that building should be having a gut check right now because have you looked at what's coming? You go to the Eagles next week. You can get one with the Bears. Okay, it should be a win because every team in the NFL should beat the Bears as long as Justin Fields is quarterback. At the Falcons, at the Giants, the Eagles, at the Patriots, at the Seahawks. 5 of your next 7 games are on the road. The 2 you get at home are the Eagles and the Bears.
Ooh.
You could lose 6 of the next 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens, and there's I would say a better than 0 chance that it happens, everybody's fired.
Yep.
Ron Rivera's gone. Jack Del Rio's gone. Eric Bieniemy's the interim coach, hoping you can catch some lightning in a bottle. And the back end of that schedule is just as evil as what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at a 0-win scenario for Washington because I don't see what you can do that's even halfway feasible to keep everybody's jobs after what I saw yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was the one where everything set up the right way. The pass rush should have been good against a Buffalo Bills team that doesn't necessarily protect the quarterback all that well. You said it, that Josh Allen loves to turn the ball over.
Yep. It didn't happen.
And it didn't happen. And you came out and laid a big old grumper lit on fire on somebody's front steps.
That they did, but it did not concern me much because that was always in the realm of possibility. It was always in the realm of possibility that Washington's just god-awful. And Buffalo is a team that could take advantage of that.
And it very well could be.
And so I wasn't that concerned about it because, I didn't think they were good anyway.
Rob Johnson asked if we're already throwing in the towel on Sam Howell. No. Like I said, I still think he's your franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some bumps. But I'm also looking at there's a great possibility that he's going to be learning his 3rd playbook in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said this was setting up for Bieniemy. I think there's a great chance that he's going to be the interim coach of this team in pretty short order. I'm just not sure there's anything you can do to get the full-time job. Because what I saw yesterday was somebody that was way over their skis.
Maybe.
Sean McDermott toyed with him.
You'd have to go on, a run at the end of the season, win 6 or 7 of the last 8 or 9 games, and it's impossible. But that's what I'm saying. It's like impossible for you to do because that's the only way it's going to happen, right? The only way you can keep Eric Bieniemy in after this year is if you can prove that the offense is going in a positive direction.
I agree.
And the relationship that we know that he has with some players, would it be shocking to me for them to ditch Ron Rivera, bring Eric Bieniemy in as the coach, and it looks just even worse?
That's entirely possible
because he's not a player's coach. He's not the guy. I don't know.
2 things before we take a commercial break. Pennywise said, "Is Sam Howell better than Drake May or Caleb Williams?" No. Draft quarterback, fire Rivera. If you end up in the top 3, then that's something to talk about. Is Sam Howell better of a prospect right now than Quinn Ewers? Yes. And you know exactly what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if they end up there with the possibility to take one of these super high-end prospects, okay. Am I taking a quarterback just to take one based off yesterday? No. And the other one from Rugby Dude said, hey, Oregon, remember last year when you went on the road to a better team, Georgia, and got smoked 49-3? This stuff happens. It does happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that Georgia game, I think, is what's bothering me so bad about Colorado. Everybody's losing their mind about Oregon. Oregon's going to get reality checked a couple of times before the season's over, and they physically annihilated you. Because I don't think they're any better now than they were a year ago. And Oregon's got a couple teams on their schedule that I do believe in quite a bit, including one we're going to talk about later. And if you see that, and then you look at USC coming in here, who I do believe in to a certain extent, this week could be merely the beginning. USC might hang 70 on them because they're coming in at just as much wanting to shut Colorado up. They're going to Folsom. So that's why it's a stock down for me is Colorado appointment television this week? You've got to be watching Big Noon Kickoff at 12 o'clock because I don't think so.
No.
You might still get the celebrities on the sideline because it is still the coolest place to play in college football with Deion. But you're not as far into this transformation as we all thought. And that was abundantly clear against Oregon.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Our daily draft, stock up, stock down from the weekend that was, continues next.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
You'd do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate. The best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
I'm James Palmer.
And I'm Steve Weich, and we're your host of the new podcast, The NFL Report. Twice a week, every week, we'll use our decades of experience covering football to pull back the curtain of the NFL and provide perspective and depth on the biggest topics on and off the field.
No hot takes, just real football talk for real football fans. The NFL Report podcast every Monday and Thursday. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Saturday, September 30th, it's the Oktoberfest Half Marathon and 5K. The Half Marathon runs through a great route in the River Arts District, historic Montford, and West Asheville by the French Broad River. Not trained up for the half? Then enjoy the 5K. There's costume awards and middle of the pack awards for those who aren't in it to win it, but just in it for the fun. So kick off fall with a great run and a great finish at Highwire Brewing. For more information and to get signed up, go to kickitevents.com. That's kickitevents.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We are back in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We're in the midst of the daily draft. So we are at the top of the 2 o'clock hour. Every Monday, stock up, stock down from the weekend. Jeremy goes all stock downs so far.
I'm a cynical man.
Denver, Colorado, Washington Commanders. I've gone stock down so far. Jacksonville losing to Houston. Notre Dame blowing it against Ohio State. My next stock down is for your former team, Jeremy, the New York Jets.
It's not my former team. We're on a sabbatical. I can't do it to myself anymore.
Never again. Never again. How many times did Amy have to hear that after I left the porch yesterday?
Not many, because I fell asleep not long after.
Oh, well, that's,
I overachieved. Keto diet, heavy drinking.
Yes.
Bad call.
Yeah, it does not work out
Especially when you got wings, but no French fries. French fries are important.
Mm-hmm.
Those are called carbohydrates. And you need those.
Yes, indeed you do.
Or you go to sleep at like 6:30 at night.
Mm-hmm. The New York Jets were god-awful yesterday. And when you had Zach Wilson under center with a chance to, in a game where you got a chance, right? If you can make a couple of plays, you can make something happen. You can get a win here. It was a 4th and 10, and he threw it 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That
He's awful.
Is horrific.
He's the worst quarterback I've ever seen.
And the fact that I don't know, the fact that your coaching staff and your front office seems to be so cavalier about the need to make a change here. Like, everybody sees it, and there's like, no, we're good. Zach Wilson.
You've wasted every bit of the good graces you had coming into this year with the win on Monday Night Football. You have wasted it all, because now you are the same old Jets.
Mm-hmm.
You are the same exact team. And Bill Belichick's taking some victory lap on the Patriots. You're one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, and Mac Jones is almost as bad as Zach Wilson.
15 straight wins over the Jets.
And let me just say this too, since I haven't addressed this yet. If he keeps hitting people in the ding-ding, like he did with Sauce Gardner, he will get his head ripped off his body.
Ooh, do they play Cleveland at some point? Will he do that to Myles Garrett, please?
I'm going to bet he doesn't, because he's the Grayson Allen of the NFL, and this is a bad place to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, awesome. You beat a team with a horrific quarterback. Good for you.
Right.
Yeah, I was wrong. Woo. That and $2.25 will get you a Coke in a Biden economy. Let's go.
I feel like I need to pick a stock up here since I've gone all.
I do too.
Downs.
I've had a struggle picking those.
I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns.
That was an impressive win.
We needed to see it, right? We needed to see you get away from the run game and Deshaun be able to make the plays to get you a win. Now, granted, it was the Tennessee Titans, so let's not all flip our lids here that, oh my God, Deshaun Watson's back to all-pro status. But you had to have it, right? You were doing nothing on the ground. Jerome Ford might have worked for your fantasy teams, but did you see his stat line?
It wasn't great.
He went 18 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Yay, it saved the day, fantasy-wise. And you need that guy, right? You need a guy that you can get inside the 5-yard line and he's going to hammer it home. Awesome.
Well, it's also a good Tennessee Titans.
Sure,
the defense is pretty good.
Sure it is. I'm not trying to take anything away from Tennessee's front for stopping the run here, but Deshaun Watson deserves the flowers for turning in a 300-yard performance when they absolutely needed him to. And you had to do it because you were facing a team that's god-awful in the secondary. And if it wasn't going to happen against them, you might as well just call it quits for the rest of the year. Because I would have had no interest or hopes that you were going to be able to do this against better teams. Now, maybe there's a chance. There's something to build on here for Kevin Stefanski, Deshaun Watson, and company.
This one still hasn't been taken, and it doesn't make a whole mess of sense to me.
Okay.
It's the Miami Dolphins. This is as stock up as it can possibly be. Now, I'm going to draw a comparison between the Dolphins and another team in professional sports, and I feel like once you hear it, you're never going to unsee it. How did Miami build this team? Every draft pick, every move, every transaction, what were they looking for?
Speed. Nasty, badass speed.
Unbelievable. Yeah, every one of you's got some flaws, but you're unbelievably fast. You know, we've seen a team do this same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They prioritize something above all else. For them, it was three-point shooting. And we're going to do this in a way that nobody's ever done it before because we don't care if you kill us rebounding the basketball. The Miami Dolphins, they don't care how many points you score. They do not care because they have this incredibly creative play caller and they have just a slew of dudes that you can't cover. Miami's not a good defensive team. I've heard that all day. They're not, and they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking at you going, we got a quarterback that as long as he is upright, and they are doing a great job of keeping him upright. And the reason they're doing that, it's not because the line's great. The line's fine. It's because you are so unbelievably scared to death. They did all that yesterday without Jalen Waddle. Every team has always prioritized speed. They haven't prioritized it over everything else. And that's what Miami's done. They can make up for all of their deficiencies. Because, all right, let's say Tua gets hurt. I've got Mike White who can come in here and just be the point guard that gets the ball to all of these unbelievably fast players. Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. It doesn't matter. Oh, and yesterday Jalen Waddle doesn't play. Cool, we got River Craycraft and Chosen Anderson and Braxton Berrios. You know what all of them are? Really, really fast.
Right.
I don't know how you defend it. I spent the entire day yesterday going, what's the adjustment you make? If you drop everybody, and trust me, Denver tried that. All they do is annihilate you up the middle, and they have these lanes that look like they have parted the Red Sea. Happened on the goal line. Raheem Mostert, I think they were the 8, and nobody's even in the frame. So the best team in the NFL, and it was abundantly obvious yesterday.
Yep.
I feel like I need another stock up. And I'm looking to college trying to see if there's one that really jumps out to me. So I'm going to lump them all together. It's the Pac-12. That's the best conference in America. It's not even close.
Right.
It's not even kind of close. The SEC would get dog-walked. Georgia, okay, cool. You'll beat the best team in that conference, who I'll tell you who that is, in the next segment. Mm-hmm. And it ain't who you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you could probably win that game. I'm not positive of that. I don't actually believe that. From there, holy good Lord, your second best team's LSU. Sweet. I don't even think the SEC is the second best conference in America right now. Okay. That's the Big Ten. Because, yes, Michigan struggled for a minute with Rutgers, and Ohio State's not as impressive as you want them to be. Penn State's your 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they may be better than both of the two I just said.
Could be. Pac-12 winners.
The Pac-12 is really, really good.
And they can stack up.
1 to 7.
The SEC.
1 to 7. They're the best conference in America.
Okay.
And I'm not sure it's even really all that close.
Okay.
Because I've already seen probably your 5th best team, which is Utah, play the SEC's 5th best team, which is Florida, and it was never close for not even a second.
All right, final selection for Stock Up, Stock Down from the weekend. This is probably going to sound weird coming from me, but I'm going with Duke.
You should. They were the next one on my list.
I'm going with the Duke Blue Devils in college football. You have been awful at football forever, right? Disrespected left and right. When you have you have a team that might be considered a spunky little upstart, much like last year. They won 9 games, kind of under the radar. Nobody really paid them any attention. Now they're ranked in the top 25. They beat the brakes off of UConn, which they should have. Mm-hmm. I felt like there were a lot more people surprised about that this weekend than there should have been. I did the national guys just completely dumbfounded.
Well, because they love doing this thing every single year, and it is so lazy to me, and it irritates me to no end. The Blue Bloods in college basketball are good in football. How many years in a row are you going to do that?
Every year.
Do we have to do it every single year where none of them play anybody, and you go, look, Kansas 3-0. Yeah, their best wins against Illinois. And yeah, I like Kansas, and I think they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But do we have to make that same lame joke every single year?
Duke, though, now they're a top 25 team. And for the first time in history, they're going to be featured on game day.
It's the first time game day's ever been to Duke.
Well, of course. What else would they go there for? There's never been a Carolina-Duke game that's been that consequential, right?
You might have one this year, though.
Could be.
That Carolina-Duke game could be for who gets to play Florida State in the ACC championship.
It absolutely could be. Now, I just feel like we need to give them their flowers. Mike Elko's a hell of a coach.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And he's got these guys playing great.
And Duke, if you want to keep him, let me give you a solid piece of advice. You should take that. You should take those purse strings and loosen them a bit, and get some shekels and shower them on Mike Elko, or he's going to be a head coach somewhere else next year.
Yep. Number 11 Notre Dame, number 18 Duke. This Saturday night at 7:30 on ABC. It will all be the lights will be a-shining on the Cameron Crazies. Although they're not the Cameron Crazies. What do we call them?
I saw them in the ACC title game one time, and it's a lot of dudes that show up to football games in suits, and then got real quiet when Jameis Winston scored a whole mess of points.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Clemson did when there were no seconds left on the clock.
Oh! But yeah, Duke could make a hell of a run here. They're very, very good. Could they sneak up on Notre Dame? Yeah, probably not. But they're going to make it interesting.
Oh, I genuinely. If Duke beats Notre Dame, that's going to be a huge story.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're on a collision course for Duke, Florida State.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unsettled weather pattern after today, as we'll have some rain and showers here and there through midweek. So today's probably the day if you want to get out there, mow the grass, and get it done. With a partly sunny sky and highs near 80, you can do it. Overnight tonight, some fog settles in late 58. And tomorrow, some fog around in the morning and a few showers, thunderstorms scattered throughout the day, 74. Wednesday, still a threat for showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The biggest stars in all of music shared the stage at our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Brought to you by Capital One.
Let me hear you.
Foo Fighters.
Fall Out Boy.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kane Brown.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Durk.
Lenny Kravitz.
Miguel. Public Enemy.
Sheryl Crow.
Travis Scott. Tim McGraw.
TLC.
30 Seconds to Mars.
The most massive live music event of the year.
See all the action now at iHeartRadio.com/festival. And get ready to relive it with an iHeartRadio Music Festival special.
Streaming on Hulu next month.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
It's back in the Sportsocracy. Time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Green.
Don't do crimes!
Don't do crimes. And there's got to be crimes coming in this case. I'm not sure exactly what they should be. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a magistrate. I don't know where this falls in, but there's got to be something here. A 65-year-old woman goes into the hospital for a routine heart cath. She died during the procedure. Now, this happens, right? Medical accidents happen all the time. I was told when I went in with my stent, like, look, this is no small thing. Like, yes, we're just running a tube up your arm to put this little stent in, but things can go wrong. There's an inherent risk with messing with somebody's heart. Well, it's how the hospital responded after she died during the procedure. Sources within the hospital indicate that the first doctor, who was a cardiologist who had previously faced questions over his credentials, accidentally cut an artery during the procedure. Although he allegedly believed that the situation was under control, the patient was later discovered to be still bleeding while in the intensive care unit. A second cardiologist was called in to address the situation, and the patient was taken back into surgery but died during the second procedure. The medical records show that she died at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The official death certificate says 1 o'clock. The problem is her family was brought back to see her at 3:05, where they had propped her up in the bed to make her look like she had survived, and then told them that there was a problem, that they were going to have to remove her from life support, urging them to take her off of life support because there was a serious problem. She had already been dead for 2 hours.
Yep. That sounds like crimes.
That is crimes of some sort.
That sounds like crimes.
There's an investigation going on within the hospital. It does not say whether there's a criminal investigation going on here, but there's got to be. That's got to be a crime.
No doubt.
To lie to the family, to tell them that she's still alive. That's a major lawsuit coming that way.
My story comes from the state of Florida, and it's about a woman named Madison Stephen. She was an employee of the Croc Encounters in Tampa, Florida. Well, at some point, she was fired. But that didn't keep her from, on September 4th, going into the Croc Encounters with keys that she had and stealing a juvenile alligator, which she then drove an hour and 20 minutes to a hotel in
No clue.
Because she told police that she was just borrowing the alligator.
Okay.
She had fully intended to bring it back.
Okay.
She wanted to do a birthday photo shoot with the alligator. You know, I've said a lot of things that I consider to be red flags. Woman that wants to do a birthday photo shoot with an alligator, that's a red flag. I'm good. Nope. Brian Haynes always said, girl who has a tattoo of a dagger. Girl that does birthday photo shoots with alligators right there.
Wait, so it was her birthday or was
it was her birthday?
Alligator's
nope,
birthday?
It was her birthday. She wanted to take pictures with a little itty bitty alligator. And all I can think is that Zach Galifianakis commercial or a movie where he's taking the like glamour shots with his girlfriend and they're in the swing and there's one where she's carrying him and that's
Masterminds.
Masterminds. Yeah. That's the only thing I could think of while I was, and I heard the Enya music playing in the background. Her and the alligator. Alligator was returned. Miss Stephen was arrested for unlawful possession of an alligator. That's a thing.
Why
That's a thing.
Why you do weird stuff?
They, the owner of the Croc Encounters declined to pursue charges of theft or trespassing. So the only thing she was charged with was unlawful possession of an alligator.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Jeremy, the Pac-12, you say, best conference in college football.
Sure are.
They got a lot of teams ranked in the top 25.
And I think they have the best team in America.
Really? USC?
Nope.
Oregon?
Nope.
Which one?
Washington.
Really?
Not even close.
Are they that good?
Let me tell you a fun story that I just learned about Michael Penix Jr.
Okay.
He has now played 17 games at Washington. How many times has he been sacked in 2 years?
25.
Too high.
17.
Too high.
12.
Too high.
9.
Too high.
What?
6.
No way.
He's been sacked 6 times in 2 years. By the way, he has probably the second best receiver in the country in Rome Odunze, and Jalen Polk is probably in the top 6. They're not just beating teams, they're hurting teams' feelings on a weekly basis. I'm not saying they've beat a great team yet. I don't know how I keep watching their games. I had a huge wager on them against Michigan State. That's how I wound up watching that one.
Okay.
After returning from the Florida State Clemson game on Saturday, just kind of propped myself up on the couch. My feet hurt because I'd walked about 5 miles. I watched a lot of their game with Cal. They don't miss. Ever. Every time he drops back, it's a bomb. It's accurate. The receiver is open. It doesn't matter who they play. I don't know that I've ever seen an offense that good.
Really?
Now, could they lose to somebody when they start playing big boy competition? Sure.
They got 3 weeks to play Oregon. Get Arizona next week, then they get a bye. Then they play Oregon. And a few weeks later, almost a month later, they play USC.
Well, they play Oregon in Washington. Let me go ahead and tell you, you can't set that number high enough because they will spank Oregon like a small child that acted up at the Walmart.
They go USC, Utah, Oregon State, Washington State, all ranked teams to end their season.
Oh, it's a murderer's row. And if they go undefeated through that and then win the Pac-12 title, they will be the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. You mark my words. Because Georgia can't touch any of that. Strength of schedule, they're going to blow you out of the water.
Absolutely.
Because Washington State is really, really good. Utah is really, really good. USC is really, really good, and so is Oregon. And they haven't even been legitimately challenged. They beat Boise State 56-19. Tulsa 43-10. Michigan State at Michigan State 41-7. They beat Cal 59-32. Now, you might look at that score and go, well, they gave up 32 points to Cal. Yeah, 20 of those were with no starters on the field. Because they basically sat everybody down at halftime because they were up 45-12. 45-12. Michael Penix is a dog. And when you don't let anybody get close to him, which 6 sacks in almost 700 dropbacks, by comparison, Caleb Williams, who's really mobile, has done roughly the same number of dropbacks. Mm-hmm. He's been sacked 37 times. Michael Penix is 6.
Mm-hmm.
Kalen DeBoer is probably the best coach that nobody talks about.
And they're
because
your
that
number one.
offense is terrifying.
And they're your number one in the country.
They are my number one team. If I had a vote in the poll this week, Washington would be my number one team. I told you that yesterday before the poll came out.
You did.
And apparently somebody agrees with me because they got one this week, and they should.
They did.
They are the most impressive team in the nation to me, and it is not even kind of close.
They got one in both polls, which that says a lot to me. There can always be a rogue member of the media that will throw a number one selection, I guess, at a team. But
I don't see how you can look at them and not be impressed because it is this offense runs like an absolute top, and they are really opportunistic on defense. This is the team that nobody talks about, and everybody will go, "Oh, they got into the playoff one time before and got blown out." This team will not get blown out. They stay healthy, they are going to be real difficult to deal with. They're my favorite team in the country. Okay. If I had a vote right now, my poll would have gone Washington 1, Georgia 2, probably Texas 3, Michigan 4, Penn State 5. I'm forgetting one. Who am I forgetting?
Ohio State.
No. I'm not impressed by Ohio State. They will get that team I just saw will get shellacked by Michigan and Penn State.
Okay.
Florida State probably 6. I'm not overly impressed with them either, but you do keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't. You should be 2-2, and I should be really angry at you the same way I am with the Jets, but I'm not.
Right.
And now you get a week off, and then Cupcake City.
Well, the voters still have it. Georgia 1, Michigan 2. And then it gets iffy between the two polls. Texas is at 3, Ohio State 4, Florida State 5. In the AP poll, and then the coaches poll, you got Ohio State 3, Florida State 4, Texas 5. So they're all the same. They're just all kind of jumbled up there together. It's when you get to Penn State, Washington, and USC, it flips again in both of the polls. Washington at 7 in one of the polls, 8 in the coaches poll. Maybe
it should also be really telling if you look at the votes. There is a huge drop off after 8.
Mm-hmm.
So after it's Washington, Penn State, USC, Texas, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia in both polls. There is a 100+ point drop off in both after you get away from them. That should tell you a lot.
Yep.
Oh, Oregon, they look so great. Give it a minute. Give it a minute because they get to play Washington and it ain't gonna be pretty.
Yep.
I'm planting my flag on Washington. If they can stay healthy, and that is always a risk with Penix because he has that injury issues. If they stay healthy, they are the team that no one wants to see.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, we'll give you our last thoughts on the Monday Night Football games next.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost
Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slower. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer WetJet and just spray, push, all clean.
Saturday, October the 14th, it's the Thomas Wolfe 8K, Asheville's oldest running event. Come and celebrate its 46th year in downtown Asheville. The course starts at the Thomas Wolfe House, takes you through downtown in Montford and past Thomas Wolfe's final resting place in Riverside Cemetery. This race helps support Read to Succeed in Asheville and Buncombe County. For more information and to get signed up, go to thomaswolfe8k.com. That's thomaswolfe8k.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
The Sportsocracy.
This is G. Duggarov, voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
We're back in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. Follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Tonight wraps up Week 3 in the NFL. Monday Night Football doubleheader. 7:15 start in Tampa for the Buccaneers and the Eagles, both 2-0 on the season.
Did you feel good saying that?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Wearing your Tom Brady jersey.
Yeah, you know, just remembering what it was like to have a quarterback.
I knew what it was like for 4 plays.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Wasn't that awesome?
Look, Baker Mayfield has not been completely terrible.
Oh, he's going to be bad tonight.
I got a good feeling that you're right on that, Jeremy Green.
Good defenses have annihilated him.
Yeah, and haven't really faced a team that got constant pressure on Baker Mayfield. Feel like that's one of those teams that offensive line for Tampa's really going to shine through tonight. And you're going to go, oh, there it is. That's the one we've been missing.
Notorious B.I.G. in our YouTube comments said, mark my words, the Bucs will beat the Eagles tonight. I'm going to disagree, but if you're right, then I'm going to make fun of Tank because I still won't believe his team's any good.
Yeah, how? That is my
All
question.
Right, let's go down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the Bucs do beat the Eagles. How does it happen? Baker Mayfield has one of those out-of-body experiences where he's actually good for 60 minutes, even though he didn't mean to. And maybe James Bradbury and Darius Slay got lost on the way to the stadium. Or your defense is opportunistic and Jalen Hurts plays really, really, really badly. Let's say that happens. In any way that actually did occur, would you not walk away from it more worried about the Eagles than you were impressed by the Bucs?
Yes. There's almost.
I mean, if it happened, you would have to be reasonably impressed by Tampa Bay. But I think it would have to be a horrifically bad passing game and another terrible night for Brian Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how what I'm trying to say in a more streamlined path. I don't see a way that Todd Bowles has concocted some defensive strategy that's going to shut down the Eagles. But what I have seen through 2 weeks, is there a possibility they shut themselves down? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Take themselves out of the passing game, and you're not going to run the ball well against Tampa.
No.
Nobody does. Many have tried, and all of them have failed.
That's what happens when you have a big, gigantic human like Vita Vea in the middle.
Right.
and then you put the onus on Jalen Hurts. Oh, all right. Sounding it out that way, I do see a path. I don't think it's how it's going to go.
I don't either.
Because if it is, you talk about loud, it will be loud.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get super loud. And
you think the panic on the Cowboys today was a lot? Philadelphia loses to Tampa Bay tonight, it's going to make that look like a Tonka toy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were supposed to just walk back to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Well, San Francisco's good, Dallas is good, but they're not better than Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. And then you talk about that Tampa team going forward next week to playing a Derek Carless New Orleans Saints team.
Potentially. They're not ruling him out yet. Dennis Allen just was at the podium.
He's week to week, so he could play, he could not, but imagine he doesn't. Is that a 4-0 Buccaneers team we're looking at? The noise is just going to get so loud for me that it's going to break my brain. Because I'm still not convinced that this is a good team. You still have good pieces, and they're playing well together, but you've beat the Vikings and the Bears. Let's just keep that in check before you start going down the path of, they could beat the Eagles. And then it looks like Joe Burrow's going to play tonight against the L.A. Rams, which is pissed off that I took the Rams.
Yeah, which is a bad sign for the Rams and makes me think we're going to be talking about a 1-2 Bengals team tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have all your recaps right here in the Sportsocracy tomorrow at noon. Plus, it'll be a Power Rankings Tuesday. We will see you then.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unsettled weather pattern after today, as we'll have some rain and showers here and there through midweek. So today's probably the day if you want to get out there, mow the grass, and get it done. With a partly sunny sky and highs near 80, you can do it. Overnight tonight, some fog settles in late 58. And tomorrow, some fog around in the morning and a few showers, thunderstorms scattered throughout the day, 74. Wednesday, still a threat for showers and thunderstorms with a high of 68. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stachik.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted on the job each year, leading to injuries and death. This is the reality they deal with when making contact with the public. Another reality is that if someone doesn't comply with a lawful order or uses force against them, police may have to use sufficient force in response to obtain compliance. Use of force is always ugly. Nobody likes it, especially police, and nobody knows how it will turn out. Spread the word. For de-escalation to work, both parties must de-escalate. And de-escalation isn't necessary if there is no escalation. Help police by not escalating. Don't attack or try to disarm an officer, whether it's getting asked a question, getting a citation, or getting arrested. Don't argue, don't resist, don't flee. After the encounter has been resolved is the time to address any complaints. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. To learn more about how to help law enforcement accomplish its goals, visit nationalpolice.org.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.